Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcasts. Wherever you listen, always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you never miss any part of the Next Round. Next Round shirts, Next Round hoodies, and Next Round hats are all in one place. NextRound.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know. You might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all your favorite Next Round gear by visiting NextRound.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at NextRound.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from NextRound.store.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Get all your favorite Next Round gear all in one place. NextRound.store. From our Next Round hats to the logo tees to the all-time best-selling Y'all Can Have the Rest shirt. You can look your best by shopping with us at NextRound.store. Take the Next Round anywhere with NextRound.store.
Never miss anything from the Next Round when you listen on demand through the podcast platform of your choice, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcasts, wherever you listen. Always like, follow, subscribe, turn on automatic download so you can catch every part of the Next Round. Listen anywhere in the world, anytime on the Next Round podcast feed, and support the show by following, subscribing, and turning on automatic downloads on any podcast platform. Listen anywhere in the world, anytime on the Next Round podcast feed. Thanks for always making the Next Round a big part of your day.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, company truck accident, car accident, or work-related accident? Call Alabama's largest personal injury firm. Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys will fight for every dollar you deserve, and it won't cost you a dime. Trust me. What do you say, man?
Call me, Alabama.
Call 659-777-7777 or go to Shinara.com.
No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Big college football weekend coming up. We'll get to some of the big conversations around Week 9 and everything going on. Chris Doering joins the show to start hour number 2 here on the Next Round. LTD and B with you. Tyler and Forrester and Brooks behind the big glass there as we start rolling in on show number 1063 today. We also had the NBA starting last night. World Series starts on Friday, and a lot of NFL news going on out there. I will tell you this, and Jamie writes in on my Twitter feed. He's like, this game scares me a little bit this weekend. It's the only game in the country. I looked through the list. I think this is the only game in the country this weekend, Alabama at South Carolina, that features 2 first-round draft picks at quarterback. Is that safe to say? Is that,
Yes.
I look around the country. I don't think I find another one like that.
I think one is based on performance, obviously, with Ty Simpson, and I think one is based on ceiling with LaNorris Sellers. Sellers has not played even close to the football he played last October and November. Sellers is definitely going to go with the first round. I think there's still maybe some hesitation. I don't know why, because it seems like Ty Simpson can make every throw on the field. He doesn't make bad decisions.
Yeah, I think the hesitation for him would just be limited starts. I mean, you've seen him be really, really, really good, but you've only seen him be really, really, really good for half a football season now. And if I'm an NFL franchise, I at least want to see a whole football season of it, right?
That's fair.
But you'll have that by the time the draft rolls around.
Yeah.
I do think Simpson ultimately goes in the first round, especially if he continues to play like this.
I bring this up. USA Today has their new 2026 NFL draft rankings. Caleb Downs, by the way, number 1 overall. Rarely does a non-quarterback go number 1 overall. People shuffle around and things like that.
Yeah, I think
the best player in the draft, Caleb Downs, is what they're saying.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think there's any problem with that. I think a lot of people would agree with that. But, people always reach for quarterback, and more than likely, if it's not a quarterback that goes 1, it's going to be an edge guy or maybe a dominant offensive tackle, which I don't think you have this year.
Reuben Baines, second on this list, to your point.
Yep.
Arvell Reese, the linebacker from Ohio State, is number 3 on this list. Jordan Tyson, who had he's at Arizona State and has come back here. Fernando Mendoza, still listed as the number 1 quarterback off the board, 5th overall according to USA Today. Dante Moore is still there, but you don't have to go down far. 19th on this list, you get LaNorris Sellers, and 20th on this list, you get Ty Simpson. And what you're talking about, Brown, is the sample size is small, only 7 starts under his belt, but Simpson is defying all expectations, racing out to the SEC lead in touchdown passes while virtually playing mistake-free football. His stock will do nothing but continue to rise. So we're in a one-and-done situation is what it looks like at Ty Simpson, unless he does what the Mannings occasionally do.
Yeah, Arch will, by the way.
Well, I'm sure, Keelan Russell, no disrespect as a teammate, I'm sure he's pulling for Ty Simpson to have incredible year, win the Heisman, win the national championship, and let me take this thing over. I do think it is very interesting that if we would have gone back to August, do you think anybody would have said, like, if Ty wasn't going to be the starting quarterback for Alabama next year, it's because Kalen DeBoer said, Ty, it's time for you to move on? It wasn't because Ty was going to be going in the NFL in the first round.
No, you're absolutely right. I thought we would have seen – this is not a reflection on how poorly – that I thought Ty Simpson was going to play poorly. In fact, if you go back and watch the summer shows, I probably said it 1,000 times. Everybody you talk to in Tuscaloosa loves this kid, and they are very, very high on Ty Simpson and this receiving room. If you talked to people in Tuscaloosa in the preseason, what you're seeing in Alabama's offense is kind of what they expected. So this is not a shot at me thinking, I think Ty Simpson is going to be bad. I thought we would have seen some Keelan Russell by now.
Yeah.
In meaningful snaps. Just, if nothing else, a change of pace type thing. Not that Simpson can't run. I'm not saying that. I'm saying just a different look, something that you can do different because Ryan Grubb is deep in his bag.
Well,
You've seen Caden Proctor take more meaningful snaps than Keelan Russell. That's what's shocking.
Yeah, I know you guys talked to people inside of the program. We all did this summer, and they were like, we're not going to be able to keep him off the field. He's that good. He is going to be the next star at quarterback, and the next star at quarterback is actually Ty Simpson. Just real quick, LaNorris Sellers.
No, that's what I'm getting to.
Okay.
All this to set up LaNorris Sellers. Go ahead.
I'm not going to say Mike Shula's cost him some money.
Oh, I think he has.
Yeah.
You've got to look past. Now, look, the Titans, they regretted it, but they did this with Will Levis. They looked past offensive system and said, we see a guy that could still win football games for us.
Yeah.
He couldn't, by the way, and the Titans regretted that. People are going to have to do that with LaNorris Sellers.
And that's what I was getting to, because yesterday on the South Carolina campus, they had the students got together, and it wasn't a bunch of them, but they had a protest about Mike Shula's the offensive coordinator.
I
3
didn't
o'clock.
see that.
3 o'clock.
Really?
Yeah, there were banners up.
At least they still cared.
Yeah.
And here's what the banner said, by the way. I'll read it off of this. I didn't send it to Forrester. Join us at Green Street. Fire Mike Shula protest.
Oh, my God.
3 o'clock on Tuesday, 10/21. Rally against awful and predictable play calling, completely ruining Sellers, not knowing how to run an offense. And it has a cutout picture of Mike Shula on that. But Karen, who's one of the great listeners of our show, she sent me these numbers on South Carolina. 115th in scoring, and this is in the country, obviously, not 115 teams in the SEC yet.
20 points a game, that's bad.
115 in scoring, 121st in rushing, 104 in passing, 129th in total offense, 123rd in first down, 135th in sacks allowed, 127th in tackles for losses, 120th in third down conversions, 128th in red zone scoring, 132nd in red zone trips.
What was their points per game last year? You said?
I don't know what the points per game were last year. I know they're at 20,
this year. I'm sorry,
20.1 points per game.
30 and a half. I know last year, 30 and a half.
Okay.
So down 10 points a game.
That's massive.
That's hard to drop 10 points a game with your quarterback back. Like if you had to change quarterbacks, okay, I get it. But
Now, and this might be an influence of Mike Shula. When I watch South Carolina, I don't know about you guys, I don't see any weapons on that team at all. And maybe that's because Mike Shula has been unable to identify these weapons. But you know what's going to suck? And you heard Shane Beamer get a little feisty with the questions that were asked the other day. Do you think it's fair to Mike Shula if he fires him in season? You're the guy that hired him. I mean, you know what you were getting with Mike Shula, right?
I mean, yeah, it's fair. You haven't gotten – now, assuming – it's fair assuming Shane Beamer has said, Mike's your offense, go do it.
Yeah.
Now, if Beamer and there's no evidence of this, Jim, but if Beamer is restraining him and saying, you can't do this, you can't do that, that's a different story. That's a different story. But if Mike Shula is calling his offense and you don't constrain him, it is perfectly fair to fire him right now. I think you've seen enough to say this guy can't get it done.
Here's Shane Beamer talking about where this program is right now. Shane Beamer at South Carolina getting ready for Alabama to come to town.
I understand there's noise out there, and there should be. I'm not happy with where we are right now, and I'm going to get it fixed because we got great young men in this program, and as the leader and as the head coach of this program, I realize that I'm letting a lot of people down right now with the way that we're playing. Our players that I feel like I'm letting down, our coaches, our players' families, our coaches' families, the student body, the 80,000 people that pack Williams-Brice Stadium every Saturday, the state of South Carolina, from Charleston to Myrtle Beach to the upstate to the Midlands. There's a lot of people that live and die with Gamecock football on Saturdays, and I get it. They're not happy, and neither am I. And I take that personally because I truly feel like I'm letting a lot of people down right now. And I'm working hard each and every week to try and to get it fixed, making the decisions schematically, personnel-wise, staff-wise, each and every week to get it fixed. And it's a process, but we're going to get it fixed. We're not far off from where we want to be.
We're not far off is a different way of saying we're close.
Yeah,
exactly.
They're about to lose their next 3, so that'll be 7 of 8 that they have lost this year. And I don't know what the answer is. Probably South Carolina, most disappointing teams in this conference. Auburn is going to be in the mix.
Wait, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you and I both said all summer long that this South Carolina team was not going to be where everybody was projecting them. You and I both were saying
I agree.
7-5, 6-6.
But when you lose 7 of 8, you're not even to that point. And they are getting blown out. I mean, you go back, they lost to Vanderbilt by 24, Missouri by 9, LSU by 10, 19 to Oklahoma this past week. I talked to some Alabama fans yesterday. They said the same thing. Man, this is a scary game. If you blow this game,
boy.
I don't know how you can.
Here's why it's scary, though. Okay. And this goes back through the Saban years. And there's a bye week coming up and then LSU. But when you play all these games without a bye, you get tired. You get beat up. You get a little nicked up. You get tired. You get worn out. You can get into a rut. There's no bye to sort of, reset the palate. And I watched some very average teams right before the bye with great Alabama teams play Alabama closer than they should. That's why this game scares people. It's the first game that you've got to BYOG. You got to bring your own guts to this one. You're on the road, and you're playing a team that sucks right now. Even Kane Womack this week says there are things that LaNorris Sellers in South Carolina can do that's got to put them on their toes or they could get beat. Here's the DC at Alabama.
This is a fantastic game day environment. It's a hard place to go and play. I was, been at multiple games. My dad coached there for a couple of years, and I've watched them take the momentum from games, and their fans do a tremendous job in the environment that they create. This is obviously a very dangerous quarterback in LaNorris Sellers. He does some great things in the passing game. Very hard to tackle, almost never gets tackled and brought down by the first guy. And so anybody that can create and extend plays with his feet is certainly going to present problems for a defense. You know, you look at their team, and I know they've had some struggles, but this was a team that won 5 of their last 6 in 2024. They had a very similar schedule going into our game, and then rattled off, you know, a number of wins. Winning does not get easier. We talked to our players about that. It only gets harder because of the target that's going to be painted on your chest. We're always going to get teams' best, but there's an earned confidence that our players need to continue to play with as we start transitioning in the back half of our season in SEC play.
You know, that target is something. I mean, that's a real thing. This is a momentum season changing, saving game for Shane Beamer.
Look, I mean, we have seen insane upsets. UAB over Memphis.
No, we'll more of that in just a second. I've got a whole topic on that here.
What makes it dangerous for me is you do have a defense that's only given up 30 plus one game. And that was against Vanderbilt, 31 points, a very good Vanderbilt offense that averages over 40 per game. The other thing that is dangerous is you do have an electric quarterback that could get hot at any moment, and Alabama fans have seen average quarterbacks get really hot against them. I think the good news is, and Kane Womack pointed this out, if you go back last year, South Carolina kind of turned the corner in Tuscaloosa. They were down 14-0 with 1:40 to go in that half. That game was over. And then you get a quick touchdown, you get a safety, and then a field goal right before the half. And Alabama had to sweat their nuts off to get that win, 27-25. So much like Vanderbilt last year, Vanderbilt wasn't going to sneak up on Alabama this year. I don't think South Carolina and Columbia, as bad as they're playing right now, is going to sneak up on Bama.
Don't you think people call this a quote-unquote trap game, or they're fearful about this game for one reason, and it's because until this coaching staff proves them differently, in the back of their mind, they're going to remember this exact type of game last year.
I agree. That it's hey, we just beat Georgia. We're number 1, and then you go to Nashville.
That's right.
We just beat LSU. We're going to go to the playoffs.
That's right. And then you go to Norman. That's right. This is Nashville and Norman. I mean, it's the same type of team.
Yep.
Actually, the Vandy team last year was better than this team, but the Oklahoma team last year, that's almost identical.
It's a running quarterback.
Yeah.
It's a running quarterback. What can you do with that? What LT just hinted at, some games that are unexplainable at this point in the year. I got 5 of them that I still can't understand the outcomes. After we remind you, the show is brought to you by our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. That's Greg from Pell City. Greg from Pell City on Facebook. You can look him up there, or you can call him 205-542-3531. Or you can go online and check out his webpage as well. It's an easy place at stormrestorationroofing.com to get a lot of details. Greg is there with an A-plus rated company. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. He handles storm damage, roof replacements, roofing repairs, anything. And he'll get on your roof for a free, no cost, no obligation roof inspection. When's the last time you had that roof inspection? You don't even know what's going on up there. Is your roof starting to age out? He'll let you know whether it's time for a new roof or whether you got 3, 4, 5 more years there left in it. He's got a builder's license. He can do some small repairs and restorations himself. He's great with insurance agents because he's been locally owned for over 20 years. He and his wife run the company. They own it, and they're parents of 10 kids. So they understand what it's like, making ends meet as an Alabama family, right? So he's even got some cost-effective financing for you if you need that, but he really works good with your insurance agents. That's where the savings are going to come. Greg from Pell City, 205-542-3531, and our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing.
Alexander Shinara is an Alabama guy, too. Born and bred in Birmingham, and one thing Alexander Shinara wanted to do was create a firm that took care of everything his community faced. Well, he's done just that, and you can see everything about it at Shinara.com, Shinara.com. Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys, when you are in need of an attorney, Shinara.com is the place you go. His mission, creating that firm that handles not just personal injury claims you're aware of, but claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, and a host of other claims. When you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shinara.com.
I can't wait to see what your 5th. I think I've got 4 of your 5. I can't wait to see what your 5th is.
Okay. Well, I get into the conversation because if Alabama doesn't lose again, I'm still trying to figure out what happened against Florida State.
Well, not only, Alabama, it wasn't like Alabama played awful. I mean, the body language, the energy wasn't there. But Florida State looked like a damn good team.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, they were at the point of attack. I mean, they dominated up front. The speed was there. Castellanos was just playing reckless with a ton of confidence. Their ability to run the football on that defense, it's baffling where Florida State is.
Now, we're getting ready for – you have something more on Florida State?
No, I was just going to say, actually, on my 5, Florida State appears twice. That's how baffling this team is, by the way. Go ahead.
Hold that.
Okay.
I would say the one you brought up, UAB and Memphis, we're getting ready for a big American showdown this week. Remember, they dropped the Athletic. They're just the Americans.
That's right.
USF and Memphis. And that was supposed to be a huge game. And it's still a huge game in the American race. But UAB beat Memphis last week. I still don't understand how they did it.
Well, I mean, again, I can actually explain a little bit on that one, more so than I even could Alabama, Florida State.
Yeah, well, please try.
I will try. I think people discount teams in their first game after a coaching change. I think often that's one of the best games a team plays all year. Like if Florida were playing Saturday in the cocktail party, now it's going to be 2 weeks, so I think some of this will wear off. But if the cocktail party were Saturday, I think Florida would be an extremely difficult out for Georgia. And you just see it when, like Arkansas against Tennessee. Arkansas looked like a different team when Bob Petrino was the coach. I think sometimes when you make a coaching change, that first game after the coaching change, you've got players that are pissed off. They're trying to prove all the fans and boosters wrong. You shouldn't have fired my guy. They rally behind the interim if they like the interim. That's part of it. And UAB clearly liked Alex Mortensen. If you watch their celebration after that game and the way they doused him and celebrated with him. And then Memphis is starting their backup quarterback. And I know UAB was too, but Memphis is starting their backup. So you start adding all that up and you're like, okay, I know it's a big point spread and UAB sucked, but boy, I can see the elements of why that happened.
I still can't explain it.
Yeah.
I don't care with the backup quarterback because outside of the Arkansas win, they had won every game by 21 plus. UAB had lost every game by 14 plus.
I know.
It doesn't make any sense.
Wait, was Memphis resting their guy for this week? Do you know? I don't know the answer to that.
I really don't
know. Find out, but
because I did not turn that game on until the fourth.
Oh, me neither. Until it was obvious UAB was going to win.
I would tell you now. I won it in the upset alert, but you know me. I don't really always put a lot of research into that. But West Virginia beating Pitt, the further we get away from that game, that is as mind-boggling to me as Florida State beating Alabama.
Well, I was looking at the numbers yesterday for West Virginia. They're 115th in scoring defense, 113th in scoring offense. And when I was writing that down, I was like, how in the hell did they beat this Pittsburgh offense? And Pittsburgh had a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it's all what makes college football great. That was all rivalry. That was all rivalry. Yeah,
that's the only way you can explain that one.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's one of the things when you look back, a lot of people are going to be like, Rich Rod coming back to Morgantown is not going to work. But then I think West Virginia fans are going to say, okay, first year, but look what he did to Pitt.
Yeah, I mean, they've got 2 wins, and one of them is Pitt, who's a pretty good team, so it doesn't make sense.
Now, those 3, I think, will be on everybody's top 5 list.
UAB, Memphis, Alabama, Florida State, and West Virginia, Pitt.
Yeah.
All right.
The other 2 is going to be nuanced for everybody, and everybody else is going to be different.
Right.
What's your next one?
I disagree. I'd go Penn State both against UCLA and Northwestern.
I have UCLA beating Penn State. The Northwestern one didn't bother me but
it was still in Happy Valley.
The wheels were coming off at that point.
But that was one of those, to me, after UCLA, so like you lose in double overtime to Oregon, your guys, you go across the country, you've got this coaching change. And
there's another example of it.
They threw the entire book at them, and then you're like, okay, now they're going to get their head out of their ass. They're going back home. Yeah. He can't lose as another 3-touchdown favorite.
Not to Northwestern.
Yeah. It was that old Don Henley song. The body was dead in Pasadena. Is the head dead yet? When they get back. I put UCLA, Penn State on my list. I didn't put any more.
By the way, we never talked about James Franklin on game day.
I thought he was fantastic.
I did not watch the interview. I was surprised he came all the way to Athens to do it. He was in Athens, right?
From 38, though. It was.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if I'm on 38, you've got to drag me to Athens.
I just thought it was, hey, we came here to win a national championship. We're just going to do it somewhere else. I mean, he had balls for going on there. I just.
Well, it was a job interview.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Was he?
And I talked to a couple of ADs that both told me they were.
They were watching?
No, they. I was like, just tell me what you think if you were hiring, you had a job opening, and you would consider James Franklin, would you watch this interview? And he goes, 100%. And here's what I'd be watching for. I'd be watching to see, is he going to be sort of not nice, but, professional about his dismissal.
That's why we said you can't burn the bridge.
You can't burn the bridge.
Because every AD is watching that like, all right, I could be that AD one day. I'm not hiring that guy.
And if he'd gone there and burned the bridge,
that's right,
it would have hurt his chance of being hired.
Yeah,
he was very professional. And he sat there and let Nick Saban love on him a whole bunch. And
I'll say it, Saban's. I'll say it. But also the public, you don't want to lose public perception either, because the only thing people are talking about is give me that 48, fire me any day. I'll take $22,000 a day for the next 5 years. So nobody's going to feel sorry for it.
That's right.
By the way, line of the day from game day was when Kirby was on set, and right before he's on set, Oz the mentalist that came on with us.
Yep.
They show him doing his stuff at Georgia, and it's everybody's going crazy and all, and they cut back to the set, and Reese Davis is like, Kirby Smart is with us. Was Oz the one that made that timeout disappear in Auburn? I mean, first question out of the shoot. Kirby actually laughed about it.
That was pretty good.
That was a great line by Reese. That was so well delivered too.
And the other one I threw down, and you guys will disagree with this one, but it's Texas's win at Kentucky this past weekend. It just doesn't make sense.
What do you mean?
You talk about in a win looking as bad as they did.
Yeah. That roster at that place against that team had to win. They had to win in overtime, didn't they?
Oh yeah, it was in overtime. So you were at the Bama game, so you didn't see this. I assume you were watching.
Yeah.
Would you, if you're Stoops, would you have gone for the 4th and goal?
I would have, but it looked so freaking bad. Like he wasn't even close.
Because it was Kentucky. Is
I know.
Bad.
I would have gone for it.
You would have?
I probably.
I think everybody said go for it. So Dunaway 4th and 1 in overtime. 4th and goal from the 1 in overtime. In a game where nobody's scoring anything. So you got to feel like a field goal is pretty good right there.
Yep.
Stoops goes ahead and goes for it, doesn't get it, and you know what happens.
That's what you do, though.
You go for it there?
Yeah, you go for the win.
Yeah. I do think the most disappointing unit in all of football is the Texas Longhorn offense.
Mm-hmm.
And
even more than South Carolina because the expectations were just a tad higher.
Yeah, this has become the most overhyped player in the history of college football.
It really has.
And I don't know if he's going to turn it around or not. I mean, because when you're 12 of 27 against Kentucky after struggling this much, we're deep enough in the season. Do you guys think miraculously the light's just going to flip?
No, but I
mean, they're still a tough out because the defense is legit.
Yeah, I'm glad Texas isn't on my schedule, though, if I'm an Alabama fan.
Yeah, I don't want to catch him in his one hot game.
That's right.
The one game where the light comes on for a minute.
Which I thought Red River was that, and it was going to be different, and then it turned right around, and it was not. What else was on your list here?
I got one more.
That was it for me. You got
okay, Florida State, Stanford. And look, I know Florida State sucks, but we talked about it. If you can't win at Stanford, I just cannot comprehend that the team that is good enough at the top of my list to beat Alabama at home is already bad enough to lose at Stanford on the road as an 18-point favorite. That one is...
What if Stanford beats Miami this week?
They won't.
0 chance.
But if they did, I'll come back and say, okay, I was wrong.
Yeah, I'm going to start saying 1% chance in today's college football. There's a 1% chance Stanford wins this game.
Wow, finally, 15 years. 15 years, I got him to 1%.
It's a different world.
15 years, I got him to 1%. Whacked out Wednesday later, is the line big enough for Miami over Stanford?
30 and a half, Jim.
Yeah. I don't know how you guys attack whacked out. To me, it's got to be 10 points, 10 points more.
I'll tell you. Like last week, I had Boise State. And I said, look, UNLV's undefeated. Yeah. They're going to score points, but their defense is garbage. Boise laying 12.5. It's not nearly enough.
I had Northwestern last week against Purdue. They won 19-0. That's a blowout to me, right? 19-0.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm on a 2-game losing streak with my whacked out Wednesday.
I should lose it outright.
Yeah, I should make those my upset alert.
You got it all confused.
I lost again, so we'll try to. The line is whacked out. I thought it was going to win by more than it was. They end up losing the game outright again, 2 in a row. We'll get to Whacked Out Wednesday later. Show today being brought to you by our friends at Bojangles. Brownie, tell us about Bojangles.
Yeah, you can make it bow time. Hey, congrats to our friends at Bojangles today. They're cutting the old ribbon, the old grand opening down on Pelham Parkway for that brand new Bojangles. So hello, Pelham. You can go enjoy the great chicken tenders, those hand-breaded chicken tenders at Bojangles. You get them for the tailgates coming up this Friday night or Saturday at your local college game. The watch parties, if you're staying at home watching Bama at South Carolina, Auburn at Arkansas, you can eat those right there in the comfort of your own home. Let them cater that watch party for you at Bojangles. And on your way to work. That pork chop griller biscuit is back at Bojangles. You can grab one of those on your way to work or school tomorrow morning. Congrats, Pelham Parkway. You got your Bojangles open today, and make it bow time.
All right, and our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. Jumpstart your weight loss right now. Simplify your weight loss with our friend Leslie and her board-certified team, Way to Wellness. You can go to their website at planforme.com. Way to Wellness has a personalized plan that works and is designed specifically for you. No cookie cutter plan. Everyone needs something different. You may want meal replacement. You may want the very popular injection therapy. I use these protein bars to keep me from bad snacking between meals. The website, again, planforme.com. They have a diet plan for diabetes, heart disease, sleep apnea, and a whole lot more. No contracts, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free. Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. We are approaching an odd time in the Bill Belichick era.
Approaching?
So we're not there yet. Okay.
They are going to go ahead with the in-season documentary, apparently. But yesterday, the list comes out of coaches who are eligible to go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2026. Bill Belichick is on that list.
That's a no-brainer.
Is he going to be coaching North Carolina badly while also having his name announced to go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame? Because you cannot, if he's on the list of coaches to go in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, he's got to be a first ballot guy,
you
right?
Can't vote no on that one.
Yeah, this is almost like, a rapper that decides to do a movie and he gets nominated for a Razzie, but he's also getting a Grammy at the same time.
Yeah, a Razzie and a Grammy at the same time.
Because what he was really good at, he's still getting acknowledged for that. This is such a weird situation. I really don't know. Like, I do believe if Belichick taps out, it'll be one of those little bitty things that we remember in 20 years. But he's got such an ego. But I think he does already know, right?
Yeah, but then it's also the Patriots dynamic, though, Lance. I mean, normally in those situations, the team owner is Robert Kraft is really involved in that, and we know those guys don't like each other. So I really don't know, to answer your question, Jim.
And back to the reality show, how does it get reported we're going to shut it down and then it's back up again?
My guess on this, either the report was wrong, which I doubt. My guess on this is somebody at Hulu showed them the contract that the footage they had already shot belongs to Hulu and they can do with it whatever, is allowed under that contract. And they're like, well, crap.
Yeah.
I guess we need to at least get some good stuff on film at some point.
Yeah.
Because, the first half of the season, that's a disaster for them. So you may as well at least.
Or maybe this is part of the PR.
Yeah.
The first name on the contract, somebody finally got the Freedom of Information Act, wanted to see the contract for that in-season documentary.
But I know.
Jordan's first name signed on the contract.
So she signed the contract with Hulu?
Yep.
Or whoever the production company is?
It's Jordan, somebody else, and then at the bottom, a different line is William Belichick.
Man, he needs to make sure everything. You guys remember we had Casey Kasem's daughter on?
That's been forever. Right?
Yeah, but Casey Kasem was like, what do they call it when, you've got the individual, but they're kind of incapacitated at that age.
Power of attorney?
Yeah.
Yeah, that, but there's a term for it. Because remember, his daughter was campaigning, we've got to get Casey back. I just hope Bill Belichick doesn't fall into her void, and she's got control, and he's like a mummy in a tomb. Would that surprise you guys?
No, it would not. Nothing in this situation would, really.
By the way, I got a chance to call Vestavia High School flag football yesterday. Vestavia's women are 23-1 now. The girl that is their quarterback passed for her 100th touchdown.
This year?
This year.
Damn.
And I was like,
did you take the over?
I was like to the analyst who said, that's her 100th touchdown. I was like, what a career. And he's like, no, this year. I was like, back it up.
I take it Hugh Freeze is not calling plays.
No. There's some talent out there. All right. When we come back, more college football, odds that are not good for the Dodgers in the World Series.
No.
There's a trend there that is not very good. Why Jack Nicklaus always wins, what Travis Kelce invested his money in, and a ton of college football on the show that's being brought to you by our friends at Gutter Cap. Tell us about Gutter Cap LT.
205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap at the leaves. They're falling all over the place. Just watching this over the last couple of days. It's nuts. Nobody wants to clean out the gutters. It's a dirty, dangerous job. You need to keep those gutters clean and free-flowing, especially with the rain coming through this area. The answer is Gutter Cap. Cap it, don't snap it. 205-823-2212. GutterCapBirmingham.com for more information.
Hey, football fans, after giving it your all on the field, cheering your heart out in the stands, treat yourself to something tasty at your local Culver's. From juicy butter burgers to creamy frozen custard, crispy crinkle-cut fries to gooey golden cheese curds, there's something for everyone in your crew to enjoy. Win or lose, Culver's is the perfect place to celebrate these sweet memories you'll make all season long. Stop by the Culver's in Birmingham at Stadium Trace in Tattersall Park and make this game day a delicious one. Culver's, welcome to Delicious.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, company truck accident, car accident, or work-related accident? Call Alabama's largest personal injury firm. Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys will fight for every dollar you deserve, and it won't cost you a dime. Trust me. What do you say, man?
Call me, Alabama.
Call 659-777-7777 or go to Shinara.com.
No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459 exit 31 Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Never miss anything from the next round when you listen on demand through the podcast platform of your choice. Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcasts. Wherever you listen, always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you catch every part of the next round. Listen anywhere in the world at any time on the Next Round podcast feed and support the show by following, subscribing, and turning on automatic downloads on any podcast platform. Thanks for always making the next round a big part of your day.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood. Next Round shirts, Next Round hoodies, and Next Round hats all in one place, nextround.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know, you might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all of your favorite Next Round gear by visiting nextround.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at nextround.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from nextround.store.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
You know, I love when Joel Klatt's on our show. I'm always smarter when I leave that interview.
Okay.
And I like Joel so much that there are times I feel really bad for him.
I can't wait to hear how this ends. What has Klatt done?
Well, I mean, it was announced yesterday that, I mean, they had to be really excited about this game at some point, but that Penn State, Ohio State will be a big noon kick.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
and that was supposed to be one of the big games that would anchor their coverage all year long, and now it's interim coach, backup quarterback, struggling team Penn State at Ohio State, who's just licking their chop to get a name brand team to play. Ohio State is the best. I mean, I guess there were moments during Saban's time that people around the country were like not really seeing Alabama at all because they were just dominating the schedule and really playing.
I guess we see
everybody was letting them down on the schedule. But it felt like Alabama was all on the forefront. This Ohio State team is so dominant, and their schedule is so blah.
I've barely watched them. I don't know about you guys. I have barely watched them.
I've watched a decent amount of them.
I watched all of Texas.
They haven't been challenged at all. They weren't challenged against Texas. I know it was 14-7, but they never did not control that game.
But like Ohio State, Wisconsin, what made you turn that on? Did you?
It was on my quad box.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you didn't turn it on.
The only reason I had, and this is full disclosure, is I started Julian Sayin as my quarterback in DraftKings.
But I mean, what would make you turn on Ohio State, Wisconsin? Yeah, I mean.
But if you haven't watched Julian Sayin,
no,
he hasn't been challenged, but he
has
been really, really good.
Yeah.
Like at this point, to me, now Will Howard was great once we got to the postseason last year. And maybe Will Howard's got intangibles Julian Sayin doesn't, because I think he was a big rah-rah guy. But at this point, I think Julian Sayin is mechanically a better quarterback than Will Howard ever was.
And by the way, best safety in football, best linebacker maybe in football, best wide receiver in football, maybe the best backup receiver in football.
Yeah, Cornell Tate. I mean Cornell Tate's averaging 17 a grab with 6 touchdowns.
You've got 3 guys who will be in the first round next year in the 2026 NFL draft.
Oh, and don't be surprised in the 2027 draft.
Well, Jeremiah will be there in 27.
Now the 2028 draft, if Bo Jackson is your first running back.
The eastern half of the Big Ten is killing Fox, and ESPN's loving every minute of it because the Fox Big Noon Kick has sucked this year. No fault of Klatt's. And their pregame show goes to wherever the Fox Big Noon Kick is, which is crappy games.
Yeah.
So, like, game day's going to all these good spots, and they're like, all right, we got Northwestern playing Oregon. And you're like,
where is game day this weekend?
Nashville.
Oh, yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
Missouri and Vandy.
Yeah, which
Bloomington for Big Noon, UCLA and Indiana.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
This UCLA plug's about to get ripped back down.
It's
in a bad way.
It's been impressive, though.
Tell us about Odie's, our friends at Odie's. It's Wednesday, right?
It is Wednesday. Me and Brown will be out there tonight. Odie's Team Trivia, the original location in Crestline. We do it every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Get there early, enjoy the great food from Rodney Davis. He's been doing it for almost 4 decades. The incredible wings, fantastic sandwiches like the Diablo sandwich, ice cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. Of course, the Odie's famous Styrofoam cup cocktails. Join us tonight, 8 o'clock. 2 locations, though. Crestline, Edgewood. Get in, see Will Haver, Birmingham Institution. It's Odie's Tab.
Hey, our friends at Central State Bank remind you that college life moves very, very fast. We've all had college-age kids here on the set. We can tell you that. So your banking needs to do the same. Whether it's your first paycheck, your textbook hustle, or your weekend road trip, Central State Bank can back you up with easy-to-use accounts for that college student, mobile banking, and hometown service, even when the college student's out of town. Listen, Central State Bank just makes adulting easier. Family-owned, community-focused, always in your corner. That is Central State Bank, member FDIC.
Chris Doering on the show coming up at the top of the hour. I find this really interesting. Ryan Williams this past week, the catches that he made. You guys thought it was just his hands were amazing this week.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
yes, they've been.
And I think that's maybe frustrating for some fans. Like, how do you make these grabs and then you drop the really, really easy?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's get to cut 5, Tyler, if you will. This is Ryan Grubb talking about Ryan Williams on his bounce-back game. Here's the OC.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask about Ryan Williams, getting him to have a chance to, I don't think he had a single drop. He made some tough catches. What do you think about his play and how he responded?
Not surprised. He's been working really hard, been saying that for a couple weeks that, it just felt like the process was going to pay off for him, and he's stuck to his guns on the things he'd been trying to work on, and obviously made some really, really tough catches in the game. And not just that, but his releases against man coverage, holding the line on the edge of the sideline. Just he did a lot of things really well.
So Ryan Williams, if he plays to his potential with what the rest of that receiving core is doing at Alabama, means what to you guys?
I mean, like, where is – because Brooks is going to continue to get better and better. Horton, every other game seems to have a big reception and a touchdown. And then Germ is, he's a first-round guy in my opinion. I mean, it's collectively maybe the best group of receivers you've got in college football.
I would say this. If Ryan Williams, to your question, meets the potential, which is being one of the best receivers in college football.
Which he did this past week, in my opinion.
I cannot imagine the looks that Isaiah Horton, Lottie Brooks, and Josh Cuevas are going to get.
Yep.
I mean, the coverage those guys are going to be able to draw is I mean, that's still a line from Jeremy Bernard. That's going to be a field of dreams for them. They're going to have to beat a man who's not one of your better cover guys, and they're going to have to beat him off the line of scrimmage, and Ty Simpson's going to have them wide open.
With a great decision maker at quarterback, and would you say pass pro is what Alabama's offensive line is best at?
It's better than run blocking.
Yeah.
I mean,
and to that point, does the lack of traditional run game scare you at all for Alabama with the way these receivers, the play caller Ryan Grubb, and the way Ty Simpson is making decisions? Does it bother you that they can't run it traditionally? Because what happened against Tennessee, when they saw that they couldn't get 2 or 3 positive yards every time they handed it off, they quickly went to that short dink and dunk, getting it out to the flat passing game, which is basically an extended run game.
Well, look, I mean, the last time we saw Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer together at this level, they played for a national championship at Washington, but they had more balance. Dylan Johnson could really run the football. He was a 1,200-yard back. You're not going to have a 1,000-yard back, not even close this year. I don't think you're going to have a 1,000-yard receiver. And what's insane is you might not have a player that scores double-digit touchdowns this year for Alabama. And that's crazy.
and they've got a Heisman finalist at quarterback probably, which is weird.
Because of the distribution.
Yeah.
Well, the distribution, I do agree. Like, pass pro's been really good. They've only given up 13 sacks, but you're averaging less than 4 yards a carry. That's hard to do and play championship football.
Yeah.
But they're doing it right now.
Forster sent me a video last night because we started to hear about Graham Simpson, Ty's little brother, being recruited. And there was high school practice video of him floating around. And Forster sent it and hinting that you think this excites Alabama fans here. You watch Graham Simpson in this video, and all of a sudden, he looks just like Ty Simpson.
What? That's what I said. Like, if you were watching the game Saturday night and you're an Alabama fan, how excited did they get when Sean McDonough pointed out the reason that Jason Simpson was not sitting with his wife is because he was actually technically there as the parent of an Alabama recruit, younger brother Graham Simpson. And I'm sure there were a lot of Alabama fans who were like, okay, had no clue Ty Simpson had a younger brother that's a recruitable quarterback, but that excites me now, having watched Ty Simpson play. I'm sure they did.
And you see that clip there, and you think to yourself, okay, sign up for that. Sign up for that a little bit. Whatever school he ends up picking. Always fun to have a family tree. If you can get a pipeline going, if you can be a legacy player at a place.
Is he right now, in you guys' opinion, the most surprising player in college football?
Ty Simpson?
Probably, yeah. I mean, again, not surprised if you talk. I don't think Alabama's at all surprised by him.
I mean, maybe Kate Glumnick or
a bad surprise. Yeah,
but you mean in a good way.
In a good way, yeah, probably so.
In a good way. Trinidad Chambliss, but.
Yeah, no, I'd go that's a bigger surprise. I mean, D2 transfer that nobody wanted out of high school.
I'll tell you, Marcel Reed.
Unseats a good starter. It's not like Austin Simmons was terrible.
You know, we talked about this just for a minute, and we were like, we talk about all these quarterbacks coming into this season. The one quarterback nobody's talking about is Marcel Reed. And Marcel Reed has got the only undefeated team right now in the SEC, Texas A&M. And Marcel Reed, I don't know why. I still don't really trust him if he's got to take a game over, and he was really good on that final drive against Notre Dame. But Marcel Reed has been really, really good.
The show being brought to you today by our friends at New York Butcher Shop. LT is there at least once a week.
I will be going back this weekend. I was there 2 nights ago, picked up the steaks, the incredible sides, stop in, see Jim, and the fantastic staff of Butchers. 2 locations, the original Cabo Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. You can pick up the fresh meats. You can get the deli sandwiches for lunch or dinner. They've got a fantastic selection of fine wines and desserts. One-stop dinner shop, rare quality, well-done service. Get in, see Jim and that great staff. It's the New York Butcher Shop.
Brown's got his brake line glasses on. No breaking news here, but there will be some at 12 Central Time today, where twins, power forward Adonis Ratliff and center Darius Ratliff make their basketball commitment 12 noon today. They're big star guys, and they're going to choose between USC, I'll do this alphabetically backwards, USC, Texas, Arkansas, and Alabama, 12 o'clock today, live on the CBS Sports YouTube page. But twins there, both of them 6'11"-ish twins.
God bless that mom.
Yeah.
What, do you know the leader? Is anybody...
I can only go by, it's alphabetized, Brownie. So Alabama's first over Arkansas thanks to the L over the R.
Yeah,
that's all I've got.
You think that those crypto accounts are going crazy right now with the bids?
Alabama, Arkansas, Texas, USC. Some heavy hitters there. We'll see where the Ratliff twins end up.
All right, Breakline brings you breaking news, so that'll come at noon. BreaklineOptics.com, though, brings you great sunglasses that look wonderful. You can look great at stadiums this weekend, or on the beach, or on the lake, or on the river, out fishing, playing golf, whatever. These are glasses that are built by people that love to be outdoors, so they don't want the elements to damage the glasses. And most importantly, they know the frames and the lenses have to last. And these lenses are unbreakable. We've tried it in the parking lot. We could not. Beating them in the pavement could not break them. And that's the same quality you're going to get at Breakline Optics. And you're going to save right now when you use code TNR20, code TNR20 at BreaklineOptics.com to save 20% off your order. That's with code TNR20. And they're also part of the Pick 3. They give away a great prize pack to one qualifier each week. And this week it is Bryce Harton. Congratulations, Bryce. You get a great package from Breakline Optics, Miss Rubin's Seasoning, and State Traditions. So Breakline will be in touch with Bryce, and he'll be the beneficiary of a 3-0, getting a ball in the bucket.
All right. Congratulations to him there. I've done that a couple of times this year. I did the opposite this past time, 0-3 this past week.
Showing your depth as a picker.
I was caught up in the rabbit hole this past weekend. Okay, before we get to the viewing menu, the one thing I'm glad that Florida has an opening is that 80-year-old Steve Spurrier is getting asked his opinion. Love this quote. Steve Spurrier quote here. I hope they get this one right. A big stadium and a big crowd doesn't mean you're going to win. Let me say it again. I hope they get this one right. A big stadium and a big crowd doesn't mean you're going to win a lot. Look at Texas.
I love it.
Yeah.
Just talking Florida, so he takes a shot at Texas.
Yeah. That's 80-year-old Steve Spurrier. Now, he does say, multiple reports now coming out, that they're down to 4. They think they will approach 4 people. And you don't think if these are the 4, it'll get off this list.
Okay.
Lane Kiffin first, obviously.
Yep.
Which 80-year-old Steve Spurrier says, I firmly think he's a good coach.
Okay. Yep. Thank you, Coach.
Second one, Eli Drinkwitz. Wow. To which Spurrier also says, I also like Eli in Missouri.
I think Eli, I had a Florida fan because I think we might have been one of the first that brought it up collectively, drink to Florida, and I got a text almost immediately, take that out of your mouth. Like, as a Florida fan, I can't handle drink, and I think it's more
personality,
appearance. Results, because the results have been pretty good.
I know, and he's doing it in Missouri. So, like that is not a bad second option at all.
Lane, Eli, and according to reports, most people believe that if those two had passed on Florida, that James Franklin would be the third call.
Well,
then Brent Key is the fourth one that's being reported.
Brent Key?
No thanks on either. I mean, look, Brent Key's done a really good job of rebuilding Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Let's see how this thing finishes.
This may be the only candidate you got to ask this question about. Are you willing, if Lane Kiffin is your guy, to wait through the playoffs?
Why would you not?
I would too, Lance, but these schools get all panicked about the signing day is still the first week of playoffs, so I'm not right.
First week of December. Yeah.
Oh, it's the first week of December?
It's in between. Signing day is in December. It's between the conference championship and the first round of the playoffs.
So your head coach would miss signing day and miss the transfer portal window. Has that moved yet?
The portal window is January 2nd through the 15th or something like that.
Okay, you wouldn't necessarily miss the window, but you would miss the meddling portion before the window.
Okay, but you're going to meddle anyway.
That's the most important part. Well, not if you're not the coach.
If you're playing in the semifinals, you miss the window.
Well, if you're in the semifinals, but I was just saying if you're in the first round, you haven't missed the window, but you've missed the meddling.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're Florida, I would say yes, you absolutely wait if that's your guy. Now, I cannot imagine the media crush on Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
If he's in the playoffs and Florida is still waiting because it's going to be obvious what's going on.
Yeah. If I'm a Florida fan, I would much rather have Drink than James Franklin just because Florida is all about getting to the next level, back to a situation where they're winning championships. And to do that, you got to be top 5, top 10 teams. And Franklin has been unable to do that.
Like, I mean, Greg Byrne made a very quick hire after Nick Saban, and it was a good hire. I mean, he got to me, and we've all said this, it was the best candidate available in Kalen DeBoer. You know, it's still a work in progress, obviously, but at this moment in time, it looks like, you got the best candidate available.
I listened to Feinbaum yesterday. It's the first time I was just writing somewhere in the afternoon, and my first chance to listen to him since, I tuned in right after the Florida State loss. And the same people, and this is in the media too, but the same people that were, we got to get rid of this guy. This guy's a joke. He's running the standard down. He's not Alabama. We're never going to win with this guy. Blah, 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 blah.
They call back to say they're wrong?
No. Now they're the ones like, we're back, Paul. We're back. The standard
I just picked up my black hoodie today.
Sold out black hoodie. I mean, it's.
But this can't be a surprise to you.
That way in the media, I mean, I can go back. I've saved a lot of headlines that were.
I was in Tuscaloosa for dinner Friday night, and I had some people that listened to the show. And I said, look, we were high on DeBoer when he got hired. I know it was a little rocky down the stretch last year. I know week one, a lot of people weren't sold, but I assume you guys love DeBoer. And one of the guys was like, just not sure yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
The guy's 19-3 versus the top 25. What do you want? Or 20-3 now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they won't save it.
19-3.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean,
yeah.
They won't save it. Is those?
Yeah. Who doesn't? Viewing menu. We'll get to Chris Doering coming up on the other side. Talk about that Florida search and his old coach getting a microphone every now and then at age 80. Show being brought to you by our friends at Twin Peaks. LT, tell us about Twin Peaks.
Yeah, look, Twin Peaks, great place to go. Watch those Twin Peak girls running around in 3D everywhere for lunch or dinner. NBA action, I think we've got 12 or 13 games on the board tonight. We've got multiple games. College football, World Series Game 1 Friday night. If you're looking for a place to check all of the action out, you can do it at Twin Peaks, home of the signature 29-degree draft. And nobody does happy hour like our friends at Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference, they've got everything from the tequila cocktails, an extensive bourbon category, top shelf spirits, cocktails served over the ice balls, local craft beers, handcrafted whiskey cocktails round out the adventurous drink menu second to none. And don't forget about those 29-degree drafts. Again, it's all from our friends at Twin Peaks.
And as we get to the Michelson viewing menu, LT will tell us about Michelson in a second. He and Tyler will talk a lot about some entertainment stuff. Tyler, you brought this up a few weeks ago that MTV is going off the air. When is the final sign-off date? Do you know? Is there a tribute night at all or anything like that? There you see a tombstone, MTV signing off 44 years of music, memories, and madness, 1981 to 2025. I just was wondering, is there going to be a night of great programming if you're my age or all of our age that you could sit down and watch it and wake up some memories?
Yeah, so all of the music channels are gone after the end of the year.
Oh, so it's through the end of the year. You got all of
so
this
if
year.
you're still a big fan of Rob Dyrdek reacting to different internet videos, then you can still watch that.
But see,
that's all MTV is.
Here's what doesn't make sense. And again, I'm just an old man throwing this out. One of the more nostalgic things about my childhood was MTV. Absolutely loved it. But when you see these videos now that all these artists are still doing, they're getting billions of views
on YouTube.
So there is a market. I get it. It's YouTube.
But the artist keeps all the money on that.
But how can you not figure something out? I mean, there's obviously a demand for videos.
But I mean, understand, if I'm the artist, I can release the video on my YouTube channel, get 100 million views, which pays them a boatload of money, or I can let ESPN show it, and I don't really get anything for that.
Yeah.
So I mean,
MTV. Yeah.
Or
Also,
MTV.
you
Who does say
have more-
ESPN? That's weird.
You have more control and
That's right.
freedom over what the actual
Yeah.
video
I mean,
is if
direct,
you're doing it on your own.
they figured out how to go direct to the consumer, and that's what they're doing now.
Yeah. That's it is, to your point. It's sad that
Very sad.
we had a thing in our childhood that our kids will not have, or our kids' kids will not have. TikTok, YouTube, whatever, is where they get their trends. I mean, MTV was a trend.
Yeah, even night tracks on TBS before you had MTV.
Yeah.
Where they would just on a Friday or Saturday they would show videos, and I remember, we would get with friends, and this is pre-alcohol days, and we're just up all night watching videos, and we would get so excited, and it was almost like if you listen to a top 40 station, you're going to hear freaking Man-Child from Sabrina Carpenter once every hour. You would get these massive videos every hour, and we'd be so excited about seeing that video again.
Yeah, and they would have video releases. Hey, don't forget at 11 Eastern, 10 Central will release the new video from whomever.
Yeah, world premiere.
Madonna, whatever.
I mean, there's still video premieres, but it's just being hosted on different channels who have built up a following for
there's
just making quality music videos.
There's so much bad content out there. There's so much great content too. But you would think that you could figure out, like the VH1 Behind the Musics were so good, like to redo some of those documentaries and do some kind of reality with, and this is all VH1 stuff, but The Rock of Love with Bret Michaels at one particular time, that was very entertaining.
What else are you watching? Brought to you by our friends at Michaels, and more on them in a second.
We've got 2 new re-releases, which kind of sounds like an oxymoron. It's a new re-release. In theaters, we've got Scream from 1996, one of the greatest slasher movies ever made. I think it still holds up very well. The twist at the end is great.
Most things in the 90s do hold up well, I've found.
Yep.
I thought that was a good year of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Decade of everything.
We've also got Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. If you're not a big slasher fan and you still want to get in the Halloween spirit. We've also got a Netflix true crime series, Mob War, Philadelphia versus the Mafia. A brutal mob war between John Stanfa and Joey Merlino plunges 90s Philadelphia into chaos and bloodshed in this captivating true crime series. So if you guys like good mob series, then you got another one to watch on Netflix. And there's also a new movie on Netflix called A House of Dynamite. Radars at Fort Greely, Alaska detect a nuclear missile. The president and his entourage must use the limited time they have to try to shoot down the missile before it reaches Chicago. And it stars Idris Elba and Rebecca Ferguson and is directed by Catherine Bigelow.
Wow.
Okay. Very, very good cast. Great director there.
More damage to Chicago, a nuclear missile or the White Sox?
Scott, you want to respond to that?
Scott says.
I mean, I know it.
I saw The Long Walk last night.
Oh, what'd you think?
I thought it was good. I mean, it was very disturbing. I asked afterwards, I said, what was more motivating and positive, Rocky or The Long Walk to Maddie? She was just shaking her head. I mean, after the ticket got punched on the first guy, you're like, oh my God. But it was very intense, but just well done.
I mean, they went into detail with everything. It's like, well, this is how you would have to eat in that competition. This is how you would have to, take a dump.
Yeah, so think about that. These guys, and it goes 4 or 5 straight days of walking, and you got to do it at 3 miles an hour, but you have to sleep while you're walking. You have to eat while you're walking. You have to crap while you're walking.
Sounds awful.
Yeah, that's horrible.
And
that's
one
what
guy had his pants stuck around his ankles. And
that's hard to walk that way.
Couldn't keep up.
Yeah. That's our what we're watching, brought to you by our friends at Michelson. Got to get to Chris Doering coming up here on the other side.
205-969-8100, the number I called back in 2003. Look, if you wear the contacts or the glasses, you're wasting money each and every year. I'm speaking from experience. Make the phone call that I made. Ask for Amy Toe. The next round sent you. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. Dr. Mort Michelson, Dr. Jim Michelson, best in the business. 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
Yo, kinfolk, what's good, man? Let me holler at you for a minute. You know how life can be life. You're out there chasing that dollar. Every dollar is accounted for going somewhere. Then all of a sudden, bam! Out of nowhere, a car accident. All I had to do was hit up my people at Alexander Shannara Trial Attorney. You already know when that dude Alex pulls up the trial, he shuts down the litigation situation. Yo, go to Shannara.com. Hit him up at 659-777-7777.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation and legal services provided are better than any other provider.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Ah, crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459 exit 31 Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Catch up on all today's Next Round on demand through the podcast platform of your choice, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcast, wherever you listen. Always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you never miss any part of the Next Round.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
When you crave activity like we do, you belong in the Roback family. Get the best golf wear, hoodies, and activewear for men and women at Roback.com. Use promo code TNR20 to get 20% off your order. That's Roback.com, promo code TNR20. Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means that your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios. The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Chris Doering joins the show. We're about to talk to him about the Florida job opening and some games. I just hate that we get bogged down in just coaching search during the middle of actual games. but we've got to talk to him about the Florida job.
I mean, we can't have on a legendary Florida player that is now with the SEC Network and not ask about this. What is up, Doering? How are you?
I'm good, man. Good morning. Good to be back with you boys.
Yeah, it's always appreciated. You're on the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys Hotline. I mean, the Billy Napier thing was inevitable. It's weird that it comes after a win. But the bye week was the mitigating factor there, right? You fire him, so you got a bye week to get everything, and everything dies down before the cocktail party.
Yeah, I don't know that the reports were accurate that he was going to be fired, whether they won or not. Obviously, we don't know for sure. But I think the way the game played out on Saturday was kind of a microcosm of the whole Billy Napier experience. It was one that showed, a lot of promise. There were times that you felt good in that game. You have a big lead heading into the fourth quarter, and then you give up almost 200 yards of offense in that quarter alone and let Mississippi State come back. Honestly, I said it at halftime. It felt a lot like the USF game where you weren't taking advantage of red zone trips down there and having to kick field goals, letting Mississippi State hang around, and then ultimately a bad play call on 3rd and 1 forces you to punt the ball back to Mississippi State, who goes right down the field on you and is in field goal range, if not for a questionable call by Jeff Levy to throw the football there. Florida probably loses that game. But all of that feels like a moot point at this the stage in the game when you move on from Billy Napier. All the attention now in Gainesville is on who the next coach is going to be. And there's one guy that everybody has kind of their focus on. And I wonder, guys, if that doesn't work out, how negative things are going to be going forward with a fan base that seems to only be happy if it ends up being one guy.
Yeah, and that one guy, Lane Kiffin, I think he's your favorite right now. I believe he's going to end up being that guy. This pure speculation on my part. But the guys we talked about, Kiffin the favorite, the unknown, and Drinkwitz, who's done a great job at Missouri, and then the known as far as you know what you're getting in James Franklin. I would assume Franklin would not be a fan favorite. Where would people be on Eli Drinkwitz?
Yeah, I think, I want to comment on the things that Eli has done to this point in time, and that's, creating a ton of success there at a program that had been down a little bit before he took over, a guy that's done it with an entertaining offensive style of football and given the play calling duties over to Kirby Moore has certainly benefited the team and him as the CEO of that team. The recruiting, what he's done to set up from an NIL standpoint and the draw within the state of Missouri, all of these things are things I think that would be on the list of Scott Strickland's when it comes to what you're looking for. I honestly believe that it has to be winning at Florida is not enough. You have to win with a style of offensive football where you're scoring a lot of points and you're beating teams decisively. It didn't work very well when Will Muschamp, had a 10-win season that was predicated on playing defense and having a bunch of close ball games. So I do think that there is a certain fit that has to be, addressed when you're looking at filling that job in Gainesville. And I think there's only a handful of people out there that kind of fit that mold. And honestly, Drink would be one of them. I'm not advocating, again, one SEC coach leaving for another SEC school, but you're talking about what Florida's looking for. I think it has to be somebody that's had success at the highest level, particularly understanding how to win within this conference.
I see the hotels that you're in when you're there at Charlotte and all that. Why does the SEC Network not just buy a house, a big house, and let you and Kublik and Harp and all the analysts that come in and out throughout the week, you live in the house? It also could be side programming. That would make more sense to me.
That would actually be good, man. I'd be all about like kind of a real world kind of thing. I don't know that we'd have the arguments that the real world folks did, but in terms of having some off camera fun, I think it would be good. But yeah, man, I'm grateful that they don't have that set up because I'm executive platinum on American Airlines and I'm the highest tier. I guess I'm titanium with Marriott. So it benefits me in the off season for sure.
Chris Doering, he's got to catch one of those flights in just a few minutes. So we're going to go rapid fire here. The coach everybody talks about with Florida is in a massive game this Saturday against Oklahoma because Doering, if Ole Miss wins this game, boy, their path to the playoffs is about as smooth as you're going to find in the SEC.
No doubt. I mean, I think we're looking at everybody else's schedules. Like, how are they going to navigate this the rest of the way? We talked a lot about Texas's schedule over the next 5 games and how challenging that is. Yeah, I feel like this is a game that gives you some margin for error. A lot of these teams, as soon as they got that first loss of the season, you look at that net kind of being removed and playing, walking that tightrope walk against some very difficult teams. That's not the case for Ole Miss. This is going to be – it's crazy, though, to think about that. The point spread, Oklahoma's favored in this ball game. I know it has a lot to do with Oklahoma's defense. The defensive line is amongst the best in the entire country. But I am curious as to, what they can do to get anything going consistently on offense. They ran the ball better against South Carolina, which was nice to see. But I still do have some question about where Oklahoma is offensively since John Mateer's returned for that thumb injury.
So, Doering, I think the SEC is getting 5 in this year, and I think a game that nobody's talking about, and I think it's an elimination game, but also maybe a play-in game, is Vanderbilt and Missouri, a top 15 matchup this weekend that nobody's talking about. But I believe the winner of that game, especially if it's Vanderbilt, I think they're going to go 10-2 and get in.
We did the analytics the other day on our show, and I think for the winner, it gives them a 50% or more likelihood of getting into the college football playoff. And on the other side, to your point about an elimination game, I think it takes it down to like 13% for the loser, a chance to get in. So this is a must-have game. And it features two teams that I think are among the most complete teams in the SEC. Vanderbilt's right up at the top. Man, in my power rankings this week, I had Alabama 1, Georgia 2, and then Vanderbilt at number 3. Everybody talks about Diego Pavia, but it's more than Pavia. It's a veteran, experienced offensive line, physically and emotionally mature. It's a talented group of skill position players around him. And a defense, I don't think people give enough credit to Vanderbilt's defense and how good that defensive front is. They are penetrating. They're disruptive. This is going to be a challenge for Missouri. I go back and I've started to lose a little steam on Missouri lately with teams understanding that they got to stop Ahmad Hardy in that run game. Bo Pribula had some chances to make some plays down the field. Hasn't been able to do that, consistently enough. So I think that's the game plan. You're going to see the Vanderbilt Commodores bring a lot of pressure, try to disrupt, stop the run first and foremost, and make Pribula beat you.
I love a man who's not afraid to get male cheerleaders mad at him. You went Alabama, Georgia, Vandy, the only unbeaten team in the SEC, Texas A&M. You didn't have in the top 3 of your power rating.
Here's the thing: I think they have the highest ceiling of any team in the SEC. That includes Alabama and Georgia. The problem is they still revert to some of the things that concerned me early in the season. Giving up 268 yards rushing against Arkansas on Saturday is concerning to me. The inconsistency sometime in the passing game with Marcel Reed is concerning to me. Plus, you talk about that undefeated schedule right now, or undefeated record. They've done it against bottom feeder schools in the SEC, including my alma mater. So, you haven't necessarily been challenged by the best yet. And I think all of us, including their own fan base, have that same battered Aggie syndrome where we're concerned about the fade down the stretch. Until I see something different, I'm going to have a hard time suspending my disbelief as to what's come, because I've seen this story over and over with Texas A&M.
All right, Doering's got to catch a flight. He made it just sound like he's got the option of sitting in the cockpit when he flies American. I don't know if it's that good.
No, it means he only gets the attractive flight attendants.
Oh, okay.
Hey, let me tell you a story. I had to actually fly yesterday on an alternate airline because of the schedule.
Terrible.
But I had the rare – this is like one of the things in life that you celebrate a lot, and it's like getting a great parking spot somewhere. I got off the plane and realized that I was on that same plate at the same gate in Atlanta, so I didn't have to go anywhere. Wow. And I felt like I hit the home run. Yeah. Got back on, and the flight attendants, were on me about not bringing them Starbucks. And so, we were chatting it up a little bit. Then I leave. I eat at Squid Ink here in Mobile yesterday. I'm walking back, and I hear this whistle. I thought it was a dude. I look back. It's the flight attendant. So I sat down, had some mimosas with the flight attendants. It was eerie.
So what happened after the mimosas with the flight attendants?
I was a good boy and had to go to the charity event.
Well, let me be the first to say thank you for your service.
Hat tip to Chris Doering.
Bottomless mimosas.
See ya. Don't get any more trouble. All right, Chris Doering with us on the Alexander Shador Trial Attorneys Hotline. Fantastic story to wrap with there, buddy.
Yeah, the show, we got the power ratings that he was talking about. We got ours that we'll show you right after we remind you that the show is brought to you by our buddy Dr. B, man.
Dr. Beckenstein, best in the business. If you're looking to regrow that hair, if you want to maintain what you've got, look, unfortunately for a lot of men, it doesn't matter when it hits. Could be in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, whenever that is. Dr. Beckenstein is the guy you need to call, him and his great staff, 205-319-0316. Stop wasting money and critical time while you're losing hair on treatments that aren't working for you. Go see Dr. B and the great staff. Find out what will work for you. Men and women order products online, don't even know if they work. T3's got that test. It's easy, painless, affordable, takes 4 seconds to perform. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. B for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use his experience, his advanced training, and genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. Beckenstein and that staff today. Tell them the next round sent you. 205-319-0316 or t3hair.net.
Remember the person we used to work with that would read it like this? Some copy points for your podcast.
The part you're not supposed to read?
Yeah, some copy points for your podcast with our friends at Walk-Ons, where every day is game day, whether it's a post-win celebration, drinks after work, or taking the family for some I don't know why I said it like Brian Kelly. The family. It is Walk-Ons for some much-needed good times, made from scratch favorites. Walk-Ons are your go-to for good times with wall-to-wall TVs, craft beer and cocktails, bold flavors for fans of all ages, from melty mozzarella logs to Hall of Fame level burgers. Stop by today or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro, Trustful, Greystone, and Stadium Trace. It's game on at Walk-On's Browning.
Keith wants us next time we have Doering on to start calling him Mile High Chris.
Yeah.
Oh, he played for the Broncos? No.
Yeah, not at all.
Not Mile High Chris.
Here's our weekly power rating that Brooks puts together for us. We all vote. Doering, had Alabama, Georgia, Vandy. We do not. We, as a group, have Alabama, A&M 2, Georgia, Ole Miss, Vandy at 5, Oklahoma at 6. Down the list, LSU and Texas 9 and 10. Florida just fired a coach at 11. Arkansas fired their coach at 13. There's Auburn at 14. Alabama's opponent, South Carolina, at 15. And Kentucky, who almost beat Texas, at 16. That's our power rating. What do you like? What do you dislike?
Yeah, I mean, look, that's almost mine. I actually had South Carolina 16 of 16.
Behind Kentucky.
I had Kentucky at 15. I mean, I think it's, interchangeable. It's 16A, 16B.
Wouldn't want to watch the game.
I had Georgia at 2, Bama obviously at 1. I had A&M at 3, Ole Miss at 4, Vandy at 5. And I had Missouri a little bit in front of Oklahoma 6, Oklahoma 7, Tennessee 8, LSU 9, and Texas 10.
Yeah, I don't like Missouri's quarterback.
Well, I mean, Doering just talked about that. They've played 2 games now against Alabama and Auburn where they can't run the ball as effectively as they have been, and it's become a Bo Pribula game. They lost one of those at home and had to go to overtime to win the other.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people, obviously they're going to be watching Alabama, South Carolina, but Missouri-Vanderbilt is one of those games that we probably never even looked at in the offseason, but I really believe it's going to be a play, and I think it's going to be that 5th SEC team that gets in.
I wish I'd gone whacked out Wednesday. I did not on Vandy. This is a beatdown this weekend. Vandy beats their eyes out.
Yeah. I almost went that way.
Yeah.
Almost went that way.
So you think so, too?
I kind of feel that, yeah. I kind of feel like this is going to be not that Vandy needs a coming out party, but I think nationally a lot of people would look at a blowout over Missouri and be like, holy crap, what is going on?
Of all the SEC contenders, I have Missouri last.
Yeah.
Of the contenders. I have them behind Texas even.
Can you
I thought they played Alabama better than anybody.
Who, Missouri?
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Can you tell me where these teams are on our power rankings, okay? You ready? Auburn. Where do we have them on our power rankings?
14.
14?
Yeah.
That's where I had them.
Are
Where
you
did
asking me
guys have them?
individual?
Yeah, I'm just going to name 4 teams for you. I need you to tell me where they are on our power rankings, okay?
I had 13 on my list.
Okay. Well, our overall. I mean, our combined power rankings. Auburn is 14, right?
Yep.
Mississippi State, where do we have them?
We have them 12th.
Florida Gators, where do we have them?
11th.
And the Arkansas Razorbacks, where do you have them?
13th.
So Doering's point, that's A&M's 4 SEC wins. And all those teams we've got in the bottom third of the league, and I would dare say we're pretty representative of where most people would have those teams.
I said it last week that I believe they're still going to lose 3 games. I thought last week was in play. It was at times.
Is LSU in play this weekend? Saturday night in Baton Rouge?
Absolutely is. Yeah. I think they lose the game, in fact. Not only is it in play, I think that's A&M's first loss.
I think LSU wins this weekend. But Brian Kelly better hope he wins.
Six unbeaten teams. 6 unbeaten teams, and we'll get to 4 downs in the next segment, Tyler, so you can stand down. 6 unbeaten teams left in the FBS. Texas A&M is one of them, the only one in the SEC. You think they can go down this weekend. Yep. Ohio State has a bye. Indiana is home to UCLA. No worries.
1% chance.
Okay.
We've done it.
Georgia Tech's at home to Syracuse.
If Syracuse had Angeli,
chance,
if Syracuse still had Angeli, obviously this is a heck of a game.
Syracuse defense is not good. And the level of Haynes King, I mean, I think he's got like the 6th shortest odds right now to win the Heisman. He's playing really, really good football, and I think they're playing – I don't think Georgia Tech is like playoff good, but I think they're really good, and they're much better than Syracuse.
Yeah, and Syracuse only conference win, oddly, is at Clemson, but that's when they still had Angeli. He got hurt.
Tyler, I asked you to stand down. My bad.
Stand back up.
Stand back up. Let's do our spotlight here. Do you guys have your whacked out?
I do have my whacked out.
I don't, but I can come up with it if you guys do y'all's first.
Okay.
Yeah, I got mine.
Let's before you hit the spotlight open, let me remind you that our friends at the Pants Store can help you out right now. The Pants Store gets you ready for game day, road games this week for Alabama and Auburn. It's always game day at your game day headquarters, the Pants Store. Choose from Bama and Auburn polos and hats and quarter zips, famous name brands like Horn, Legend, Cutter and Buck, Antigua and Gentile. Nothing says War Eagle or Roll Tide like the Pants Store. And ladies, they've got you ready to go with the fall boots. Man, the high today is only 70. It's only 70. You know what that means? Time for Fiesta Soup and fall boots.
Heck yeah.
I had Fiesta Soup last night. Maggie was wearing fall boots. It was a perfect fall night for me at the house. Also, they have dresses and rompers, and they got free gift wrapping and free alterations. Huntsville and Tuscaloosa, Auburn and all over Birmingham, and they'll ship anywhere, man. Pantstore.com, pantstore.com. Tyler, don't stand down. Hit the open.
The College Football Spotlight.
It is the Shannara Spotlight, which comes to you every single day, courtesy of our guy, Alexander Shannara, Trial Attorneys. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, Shannara.com. Shannara.com, you do not pay a dime unless they win your case at Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. They have recovered $2 billion for their clients. $2 billion, maintaining Alexander's core values of integrity, mastery, passion, and success. Headquartered right here in Birmingham for more than 24 years, his hometown, 150 lawyers, 500 dedicated team members, $2 billion recovered by Alexander Shannara. See more at Shannara.com.
We don't plan out the show, but in my head, I had planned on talking about the 6 unbeatens leading into the Spotlight Open, which is why I did it here.
Yep.
Because I had to pause as we went through Ohio State bye, Indiana, you say no worry, A&M possible, Georgia Tech no worry, and then we got to BYU, and I realized that my whacked out Wednesday was Iowa State.
Favored in that game, by the way.
Yeah, I like Iowa State 34-23 over BYU. BYU's favored?
No, Iowa State.
Well, that's what we do.
I know. That's why I'm telling people that they're favored in that game. I think it would surprise people because BYU was undefeated and has played well.
But it's being played at Iowa State. Yep. I think it's a good Iowa State. 11-point win, BYU. That's whacked out to me, the point spread on that one. Give me Iowa State.
I'll stick in the Big 12. You talk about a team that has their mat on, and that is going to be Texas Tech coming off that first loss. They're playing Oklahoma State, a team that continues to spiral. This number is 38.5, but we are talking number 132 in scoring offense, number 132 in scoring defense.
How whacked out is it going to get?
I think Texas Tech could win this game by 60-plus. I'm not exaggerating.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm not exaggerating. I think they are so pissed off about what happened. It doesn't matter if it's Will Hammond. It doesn't matter if it's Bear Morton. More than likely Will Hammond again for another week.
But that would be back to when Oklahoma State and my dad's Playboys were in the bottom 10 when it was Kansas State and Kansas and Oklahoma State. If they lose by 60?
Oh, well, look, I mean, they arguably the worst Power 4 team out there. You look at Texas Tech, they've covered 6 of their last 7. As bad as Oklahoma State is, they can't even cover 1-11 with these inflated numbers against spread their last 12 out. Joey Maguire, we heard it in the offseason. We're paying all this money. Cody Campbell is this billion-dollar booster. And if we don't have a lot different results than we've had in your first 2 years, we're going to make a change. Joey Maguire wants to stamp it and show that last week was just a one-off. He wants to take them to 7-1. He wants to do it with an exclamation mark. I will have this on my board this weekend, even laying 38.5.
Wow. We don't keep score here on Whacked Out Wednesday, but I keep score on Whacked Out Wednesday.
We really don't because I have literally lost 2 in a row and potentially could lose 3 in a row here.
I am undefeated. I have yet to miss a Whacked Out Wednesday.
I've yet to dial in what we're doing on Wednesday.
So take it with a grain of salt that I have yet to miss one, but I am going to tell you this is going to be my boldest play yet on Whacked Out Wednesday. Because when you look at the numbers in this game, this doesn't make sense. You look at the numbers and you're like, actually, I think it's going to be a really tight game. I'm going with a road favorite in the ACC, and I'm going with another tremendously drawn logo by me. the Stangs. You know my favorite ACC team is SMU. They're going to trample right over Wake Forest right there. They're like a 3.5 point road favorite, and I mean, what a hostile place to play there in Winston-Salem. SMU dominates this game. The numbers will tell you differently.
Yeah, I can't even imagine how lopsided the money is in Vegas on this one.
Oh, you think they're all over my ponies?
Oh, I'll tell you right now. Let me just check this.
Normally, I don't like that when Lance starts telling me stuff like this.
The Robbie Ashford breakout game? Is he still the quarterback at Wake Forest?
Yeah, he is.
And Jake Dickert's made him look like a decent quarterback.
A decent quarterback, as far as you're willing to go.
Yeah, I mean, they're 4-2. 65% of the money on the ponies right now, at least at one site that I'm seeing.
Where does that? Where's your comfort level of going the other way against the public?
I feel very comfortable about taking Wake here. Yeah. Outside of Robbie Ashford, and it's an 11 o'clock game, so I'll stay away from it.
Yeah.
So.
How about the Mustang though?
That's good looking Mustang.
Good
yeah, you've done actually. To compliment you, you've done better SMU logos over the years.
Oh, good. It's my favorite. I mean, it's one of my favorite logos. You guys know I like SMU.
Yeah.
USC's got the best fight song in college football. SMU's got the best logo and oftentimes the best uniform when they get it right.
Yeah, they don't put Dallas on it.
They've messed with it a little too much for me.
You usually there's more speed involved in your horse. I don't know what is the neck up more upright than usual for you.
I don't know. I just tried to do it the way they do it.
Put a little ketamine up his ass, and he's stumbling around a little bit.
Show being brought to you by our friends at Inverness Country Club. Tell us about Inverness LT, and we'll hit a little bit more college football in this segment.
They have got memberships that fit absolutely everyone. Brown, the last time you played the Inverness Country Club?
That would have been yesterday afternoon.
Yesterday afternoon. You guys playing again today?
I am, but not in Inverness.
Okay.
I got to give. They've got I believe they've got a event out there today. There were no tee times available.
Okay. Well, they've also got a frozen transfusion. So.
They do, and it is fantastic.
Yeah,
and they've got Bushwhacker.
Okay, there you go. Hey, look, they've got everything. You can find your sense of community in the Inverness Country Club. They've got memberships that fit everyone from the golf membership to the social membership. Childcare also a big plus. You and your wife want a day of golf or tennis, guess what? Drop the kid. Go have yourself a day on the court or course. Dinner with friends, knowing your kid on site is safe on site is a huge plus. Best days happen at Inverness. Take a tour of this club today. Call Aaron. Tell her the next round sent you. 205-991-8608. Or you can always go online for more information. ICCalabama.com.
And you get to see the two new FBS teams tonight on television. MTSU is at Delaware, 6:30, ESPN2. And Missouri State plays tonight on the road at New Mexico State, 8 o'clock on the CBS Sports Network. Steve Sarkisian, head coach of Texas, as they get ready now to play in Starkville, 3:15 on the SEC Network. I mean, I don't think we imagine Texas having so many SEC Network games at this point in the year. But Sark, who, first off, just the picture. Will you give me the frozen shot? Just pop that up real quick, Forrester. Oh.
What are you saying?
That just looks sad, doesn't it?
It is sad, Steve.
Yeah.
Sad Steve Sarkisian. Sad Sark.
10 million will make you feel better.
Sad trombones.
Yeah.
But here's Steve Sarkisian getting asked a weird question for Steve Sarkisian, but it's where we are with the Texas offense this year.
Some coaches have just given up the play calling duties and going into more of a CEO kind of role. Have you ever thought about taking that thing off of your plate? And if so, why not?
Because that's why I got hired. I was a really good offensive coordinator. So I believe in what we're able to do. You know, every year we have to continually evolve, and there's years we're going to be better on offense than we are on defense. There's going to be years we're better on defense than we are on offense, you know. But it's like if I was the best outside sales guy and then I had a startup company, surely I'm going to go to the sales meetings if I'm trying to sell something, right? And so if that's one of your strengths, I'm always going to tap into the strength that I have. And I think, being a play caller on offense is one of my strengths. Some may disagree. That's okay.
Yeah. Now, I agree with him here, but
okay,
Brooks has history. Brooks, share with me your historical facts.
Well, I was inspired by another Brooks we've had on this show. Brooks Austin brought up this point on his show about how coordinators don't win national championships. Or head coaches that coordinate their offense or defense don't win national championships. So I thought I'd look it up. 4 coaches of the last 40 years that have been national championship head coaches have called plays. So most recently, Jimbo Fisher. We've only had one in the last 25 years. Have to go back to Tom Osborne, Steve Spurrier, and Joe Paterno in 1986 to get 4 of the last 30 national championship coaches in the last 40 years, and only 4 of them have called their own plays.
That is really, really interesting. And, it's not surprising when you go back to the 80s. That was a different era altogether. Sark's right. That's why he got hired for this. He is one of the best play callers out there. But the fact of the matter is they're 81st in scoring offense right now, only averaging a little over 26 points per game, and you're doing it with the most hyped quarterback we've ever seen coming into the sport.
But literally 1 year ago, this was the most innovative offensive mind in college football. He has not forgotten how to be that.
No, I still believe he is.
The offensive line has not been good. The running backs have been banged up, and you've got an overvalued quarterback that's not playing with any confidence right now.
I don't even know who the offensive coordinator is on that staff. Do you guys know? That's who you would hand it off to, right? It's the offensive coordinator or the quarterback's coach. Do you really want to Steve Sarkisian hand off play calling?
No.
I can't even believe they're having this discussion.
But, Hugh Freeze was hired because of his ability to call plays.
He was hired for 2 reasons. He was hired because he had beaten Nick Saban twice. And he was hired because at the time, Ole Miss had a really good SEC offense. And Auburn fans are like, okay, we can get a guy that knows offense and has beaten Nick Saban. So that's the whole reason Hugh Freeze got hired. What was the first thing Hugh Freeze did? He didn't call plays. You remember that?
The first year.
Yeah, the first year he was like, there's just too much going on building the program. I got to handle recruiting. I got to handle the roster. I'm not going to call plays. And we even said it on the show. We're like, the whole reason you got hired was because you call plays.
Some of these head coaches, it's about delegating. But as we get closer to the NFL model, although you have said offensive coordinator Andy Reid, Sean McVay call their plays.
Yeah.
And those guys have a ton of success and they win championships.
They do.
I want my head coach to be not only a good head coach like Nick Saban is, but I want him to be a play caller. I'm okay with that. I know history says no, but I'm okay with my guy calling plays and having an elite defensive coordinator and let him do his own thing. I want the NFL model.
Yeah,
that's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
I want Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, if Sark has this same situation throughout this year and through next year, then maybe you need to reevaluate the situation.
Yeah.
Oddly,
it can be done.
Oddly, Texas has a bunch of Co's on their coaching staff. The offensive coordinator is Kyle Flood, the offensive line coach. He's coached at Alabama. Do you know I'd forgotten who the quarterback coach was, and I just had to remind myself. A.J. Milwee, Alabama native, and was an analyst with Nick Saban, and Sark took him with him. Sark liked him so much, he took him with him, made the quarterback coach. He's co-offensive coordinator. So I assume, in fact, if I remember correctly,
played at North Alabama, right?
A.J. Milwee did, yeah. I think he's from up on Sand Mountain. I think Boaz, maybe Jim. Scottsburg, up in that area on Sand Mountain. If I remember correctly, I don't know that he called plays, but I think the Iron Bowl game during COVID where Nick Saban was not there, Milwee either called plays or was the offensive coordinator that day.
Sark called plays. He was the acting head coach, but Milwee was his eyes in the booth. He got the headset and got to talk into Sark's ear.
Yeah, so that's how much he thought of him, is that in that situation, he's like, okay, I'm going to utilize you because he was just an analyst.
And that's what Milwee does on game day at Texas. He's the eyes in the box.
All right, so that'd be your play caller. So really, we're going to hand it off from Steve Sarkisian to A.J. Milwee. A.J. Milwee, who's very well thought of and I think has a great future. He's a star in the making.
He's a Xerox copy of Sark, though.
That's right. I mean, what's going to change there?
That's where he's learned.
I mean, don't you think if A.J. Milwee had seen something by now that they could fix, he would have gone to Sark and said, why don't we do this?
That's what gets overplayed is, you ask Shane Beamer, well, you got to do something about the offense. Like they're not sitting there, like Shane Beamer's not talking to Mike Shula about things every week. Like Milwee and Sark aren't talking about all the things you can try to fix. What's going on? It's just some things you can't fix.
Again, I think there's other things. We talk about the discipline, all the penalties. I mean, there's a lot going on at Texas. But if you really reevaluate the quarterback situation, what do you do if you're Sark moving forward if you don't see any improvement from Arch Manning?
Oof. I don't know.
Can you imagine him getting benched or, hey, look, I don't know what their situation is, but if they move on from him, that would be crazy.
Yeah, but to your point, Arch is weighted, high profile guy, but you've got a little NIL, little money invested in him too. But you got a lot of money invested in the whole roster. And Texas is the team I look at and say, it's as Nick Saban has said on game day twice this year.
Yep.
You can spend a lot of money, but if you're not spending it on the right players, you're just basically, he has other words for
You're
it.
SOL.
Yeah, but you're basically just flushing it down her toilet.
That's right.
And that seems to be what Texas has done with this expensive roster. Remember, this was the roster we were told in the offseason that was as expensive as Ohio State's roster was last year.
And they tried to tamp that story down and say, well, that's a little bit misleading the way people are counting the numbers. I don't care if it's misleading or not.
Yeah. I was about to turn the corner on Sark.
After Red River?
Well, no, after, winning double-digit games for the first time in his final season in the Big 12, and then the season they had last year, I was waiting. If they had another season like that this year, I was going to say, damn, he really has become a really good head coach. But I don't know. This has been a baffling year.
They play at Mississippi State 3:15 in a dangerous game for them because State scores a lot of points. Texas safety Michael Taff out of this game. Thumb surgery. He'll be out for extended period of time to open up a little bit of the back end there for those state wide receivers. 4 downs and more when we come back on the show that's being brought to you by our friends at Gray's Tree Service. I don't know what all we've gotten wrong today on the show, but I know it's wrong when Peyton Manning used to do this. John Gruden tells the story at Barstool this week that Peyton Manning would do such good research on his opponents that he would actually know the wives' names of the players in the secondary of the opponents. And he said we would have, when we play Peyton Manning, my guys, my DBs would come over. They were pissed off because Manning would use an audible and be like, Tanisha Smith. Tanisha Smith. And the DBs are, hey, that's my wife.
That's awesome.
And he'd have everybody's wife's name and work it in the audible and then throw at them. Yeah. Get them so out of whack. And that was a Gruden story there. So that's wrong. I don't know what we got wrong. If you got dead wood on your property, Gray's Tree Service will take care of you.
Our friends at Gray's, founded 30 years ago, family-owned, community-based, Bessemer, Birmingham, over 80 employees, 24/7 emergency storm services, free estimates on all of their services, including removal, trimming, health. You care for your lawn, care for your trees as well. Make the phone call that I made over a year ago to John Mark and that great crew. They came out, they extracted the 4 pines, 205-255-1239. You can scan that QR code right there or just visit graystree.com.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
Yo, kinfolk, what's good, man? Let me holler at you for a minute. You know how life can be life. You're out there chasing that dollar. Every dollar is accounted for going somewhere. Then all of a sudden, bam! Out of nowhere, a car accident. All I had to do was hit up my people at Alexander Shinara Trial Attorney. You already know when that dude Alex pulls up the trial, he shuts down the litigation situation. Yo, go to Shinara.com. Hit him up at 659-777-7777.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation and legal services provided are better than any other provider.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger, made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Next Round shirts, Next Round hoodies, and Next Round hats are all in one place. NextRound.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know. You might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all your favorite Next Round gear by visiting NextRound.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at NextRound.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from NextRound.store.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Do you guys believe any? I know we don't. Let me start over.
Okay, 3, 2.
I'm skeptical of all reporting when it comes to coaching searches.
Yeah, there's so much muddy water out there. Well, let me take that back. There's 1 or 2 reporters that I know their relationships, and I'll pay attention to them.
But you can't trust it because a lot of these guys are on the payroll from certain agents.
Yeah, but I like Chris Lowe.
Yeah,
and I'm going to trust him.
Chris is fantastic.
Brett McMurphy, going to trust him. There's a couple I won't name them all.
I think Thamel does a pretty good job.
Going to name them all. So there was, and I don't know, Anand Nanduri, who does some NFL stuff, and he's got a great resume as I look at him on Twitter. But he said Florida's Scott Strickland contacted Marcus Freeman first, and Freeman instantly said no. And I got no problem with Marcus Freeman saying no to anybody. He said Notre Dame.
I also have no problem with Scott Strickland making that phone call if he did.
It's a great hire.
It's a great phone call.
Great hire. Yeah. But he goes on to say now the attention turns to Lane Kiffin.
Okay.
That is not the way I perceived this job from the beginning, that Lane Kiffin has been target number 1 from day one.
I wouldn't word it that way, but also you probably know what you got with Kiffin. I'm pretty sure Jimmy Sexton is probably – they've got an idea where they stand with Kiffin.
I am going to be blown away if Kiffin doesn't take this job.
Yeah, me too. And I don't think you call Marcus Freeman knowing it's going to leak out that he said no. That's why I'm skeptical of those reports. If Kiffin is your guy, and listen, I know he's 80 years old and he says funny things, but I think it's really eye-opening to me that Steve Spurrier has commented on 2 guys.
And
he's commented on Lane Kiffin and Eli Drinkwitz.
Yeah.
I firmly think he's a good coach, is what he says about Lane Kiffin. And I think somewhere along the way, Scott Strickland and some boosters have been in a room with Steve Spurrier and said, Coach, what do you think? And I think he has said, I think Lane Kiffin does a good job. If you're looking to recreate what I did, Lane Kiffin's the closest thing you're going to get.
Wouldn't be surprised at all if they were like, hey, do you mind calling Lane, like, on our behalf? Like, not in a meddling way, but just to let him know how much you respect him and how good this job is. Wouldn't be surprised at all. And the one thing you don't want to do as far as muddying the waters with a guy like Marcus Freeman If they are to say no, and then the perception is Kiffin becomes your second choice, Kiffin doesn't want that.
He's the kind of guy that would piss him off.
And that would be maybe a petty situation that keeps him in Oxford.
Some people believe that when some of the folks were looking at Hugh during the Auburn situation and Lane got wind of that changed his mood a little bit. I know it's a better documentary if it's his daughter and her friends with a bunch of pictures in his room with a sad song. But some people would say that when there were some people that wanted Hugh and some people that wanted Lane, that pissed Lane off enough to shut it down.
Do you know how uncomfortable these 6 weeks are going to be for Lane Kiffin?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's more uncomfortable for Scott Strickland.
Well, I disagree with you.
Oh,
Scott Strickland.
Are you kidding me? Would
Jim,
you have rather been Nick Saban or Mal Moore?
But Scott Strickland's not facing the media 3-4 times a week like Lane Kiffin is.
Worse. It's worse for Scott Strickland.
In what way?
Because he's not going to have a job if this goes bad.
Well, I mean,
he's going to be unemployed.
I'm honestly a little surprised he's the one making the hire, to be honest with you.
There almost needs to be a specialist in this field, and just hear me out.
Okay.
Like a therapist that coaches that are being targeted can go to, and they set up exactly, hey, here's where your mentality needs to be, and here's the way you need to answer questions. And when I say mentality, compartmentalize. Like Lane Kiffin needs to know in the back, I can have the Florida job at any time, but right now I need to have blinders on, and it's all Ole Miss.
Yeah.
And I even tell everybody, like I've sold myself on, this is the only job I'll ever have, and who cares on the other side what you say and what people say?
The best therapist is called direct deposit.
Yeah.
He's getting paid, and Nick Saban did this at Miami and was criticized for it, by the way. He was Dolphins until the Dolphins season was over with, and then he was Alabama. Things he said when he was Dolphins, people go back and they haunted him with it. They tried to scare him with it for years and years. But he was doing his job with his employer until he was done with that, and then he had a chance to sit down and talk to Mal Moore, and then he was Alabama. Lane Kiffin should do it that way and be Ole Miss until he's ready to move to Florida and go to Florida. Scott Strickland's the one that's got to sit this out.
But what plagued Saban was the day at the press conference where he said, if I've got to say it, I'll say it. I am not going to be the coach at Alabama.
Yeah.
But, hey, I say that plagued Nick Saban. How did that impact Nick Saban?
It
didn't impact one bit.
My point is they tried to come back and throw it in his face, but
I get you.
he was employed by the Dolphins. He was working for the Dolphins, and that was his mindset.
Yeah.
I am the coach of the Miami Dolphins. If you want me to say it, I'll say it. I will not, because he was coaching the Dolphins.
That's right. Yeah, listen, and I get all of that. To your point, if you go out and lose to Oklahoma by 15, 20 points, which is possible, I don't think it's likely, but it's possible. What is your fan base going to assume?
That you've already checked out.
Or you've either already checked out or Lane spent this whole week talking to Florida, didn't he?
You know who's not going to care, though?
Who?
Florida and Florida fans.
I agree. They won't Lane Kiffin. Yeah. He could lose this game by 30 Saturday, and they won't.
It doesn't matter. I mean, really, if you're a Florida fan, it's kind of the best case scenario because I do think there's two things that would keep him there, the ego and some other guys maybe getting offered the job and saying no. But the other thing is if he does get to the playoff and makes noise, then maybe he reevaluates and he's like, damn, I can win a championship here.
That's why it's so much more uncomfortable for Scott Strickland. He's got to sit Brownie through the freaking playoffs.
I know.
And then if he at the last moment, he can always change his mind at the last moment and stay at Ole Miss. And if he does that, then all of a sudden it's January, the portal's closed, the recruiting's over with, and now I still have no coach.
Oh, trust me, up until the 12th hour, there were people that were certain he was the Auburn coach.
Yeah, I'm just
because that same thing happened. He drug Auburn along. He got everything he wanted out of Ole Miss. Remember what it was like, guys, at the end of last year, right? Or at the end of 2 years ago when the Auburn job was open, whenever that was, 2022, when the Auburn job was open. We got a leaky roof here in the football building. I can't even, we've got a drippy roof. Our NIL's not where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin's, he's in a win-win situation. Does he make historic money to stay at Ole Miss, or does he make historic money to go to Florida?
He's in a win-win if he's got the intestinal fortitude to answer the questions for 2 months. It's going to be 2 months of questions, and he's going to get tired of that. But the way you don't have to do it is sign an agreement with Ole Miss and say, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. Do you guys remember what happened the last time he was linked to the Auburn job, though? He went 0-5.
Oh, yeah. And Ole Miss fans, by the time it all played out and he had signed the contract, were like, I'm sure I want to keep this guy.
Based on schedule, it's an impossibility.
No, they're going to – if they win Saturday, they will be in the playoffs.
The show being brought to you by our friends at Company Distilling. Tell us about Company Distilling, LT.
I had somebody I know really close to me that reached out yesterday about a bottle of Company Distilling for an upcoming guest.
We need to see if we can get one for. All right, tomorrow, bourbon lover and fantastic football coach John Summerall is on the show.
I will have multiple bottles delivered to his office.
We're going to send him some Company Distilling, John Summerall. He'll love it.
Yeah, and he'll love it. I mean, seriously, it's a great product. It's a great price point. If you haven't had it yet, it's available at ABC stores. If you're listening to us right here in the state of Alabama, not only in Alabama, it's available in Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Missouri, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas. Not available in Louisiana, so we need to send it to Coach Summerall.
But you should have sent it overnight so it had it for tomorrow.
We still could.
You could taste it tonight.
Yeah, we still got an opportunity, I guess. If you've been wanting to try and waiting to try a whiskey that's as good as the company you keep, this is your moment. Find your bottle, learn more. CompanyDistilling.com/Alabama.
And our friends at Bojangles, they bring us the tender moment of the day after you tell us about Bojangles.
Yeah, it can be bow time for you. Congrats, Pelham. Bojangles has come to you. They're on Pelham Parkway. Grand opening today. So from now on, swing by that great Bojangles on Pelham Parkway in Pelham, Alabama, and enjoy those hand-breaded chicken tenders, those great sides. Make it your tailgate choice. Make it your college football watch party choice over the weekend. Heck, make it lunch and dinner tonight. All right there at your Bojangles. Hello, Pelham, Alabama, Pelham Parkway. It's bow time.
Okay, here's your tender moment of the day. Mike Elko at his news conference, getting ready for a big road game at LSU. Mike Elko, the last unbeaten SEC team. Mike Elko getting asked about the rumor that he's in the mix to be the Penn State head coach. Boy, this will make you feel warm and fuzzy.
There's multiple national reports out that you're a possible candidate for the Penn State job. I'm just curious your thoughts on that, how you handle your name being linked to that kind of job, and if that's something you even discuss with your players.
I don't discuss it with my players. I think it's absolutely hilarious how you guys cover coaches. I think 3 weeks ago I was getting fired. Now I'm getting hired. Now you don't want me to stay, but I'm leaving. Like, it's absolutely hilarious. It is a waste of brain space to spend any time talking or thinking about any of that stupidity.
I agree with him so much. So much.
It does change quick, doesn't it?
I mean, I agree so much. Monday, Kalen DeBoer, after they lose to Florida State, Kalen DeBoer is the worst human on the planet. Now he's the greatest. It's Bryant, it's Saban, it's DeBoer. Mike Elko, now he's Penn State's next head coach. He's not good enough for Texas A&M.
Why would you leave A&M for Penn State?
Well,
why?
Because he once had breakfast in the state of Pennsylvania.
I mean,
I think he's in a really good situation. And if he gets him to a college football playoff, I mean, they are going to, that fan base will go absolutely nuts. And he's done a great job.
You know what's funny? If Kalen DeBoer, for some reason, and he's not, I'm just making a point here, so please understand what I'm saying. If Kalen DeBoer, for some reason, floated interest in Penn State, how quick would they make that hire? I'm making a point that you're making, Dunaway. Like if Jimmy Sexton picked up the phone today and called Penn State and said, I know you're not going to believe this, but Kalen DeBoer is interested in your job. Yeah. They would have said, whoa. Can we sign that today?
Yeah.
100% Penn State would do that.
Oh, yeah.
And my point is there, to Mike Elko's point, now do that after the Florida State game. And what would the reaction be to that? If I said that after the Florida State game, everybody would be like, ooh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, but here's what I'm waiting on. I'm waiting on a coach that remembers what it was like at a certain point from a fan base and just puts them in the top right-hand drawer. And when he gets the opportunity, he says double birds, and he's out the door too. A Penn State.
Y'all didn't want me then.
Like, seriously, if would anybody blame Kalen DeBoer if he had done that? If he had the opportunity, the way people talked about him the day after Florida State.
If I was representing DeBoer and he did say, look, obviously confidentiality between the client and, I go to my attorney and I'm like, man, I just don't like how they've treated me and my family and there's no loyalty. and I'm thinking about going to State College,
yeah,
I would throw on the end of the Northwestern game and say, hey, look, this guy was in the semifinals last year,
That's
and
right,
here's what
yeah,
his fans were doing to him.
Yeah, if the grass seems greener on the other side of the fence, it may be because they have a bad septic tank, and that's what you always have to understand. And I mean, because those fans turn on James Franklin, don't think they won't turn on you. That's exactly what I would tell him.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way every fan base is.
And again, I want to be abundantly clear. I was making Jim's point. I was adding to Jim's point how quick it changes. Like Kalen DeBoer could get the Penn State job today if he wanted after the Florida State game.
Yeah.
Alabama people were some fans, crazy fans that were short-sighted, were ready to fire the guy.
Yeah, that's not a clip out for social media where Jim says Kalen DeBoer should double finger Alabama fans. That's not what we're saying.
This is not what we're saying. We're making Elko's point of how quickly it can change.
Just the overreaction. I said it early in the show. The same people that were calling DeBoer an idiot after Florida State were praising him yesterday. He's got back. We're back, man. We're back. The standard. It's you when we're losing. It's we when we're winning. It's frustrating to listen to. Because everybody can't win.
Oh, I know.
It's mathematically impossible for everybody to win.
Yeah, that's why, like, if you're having good years like James Franklin, again, I wouldn't have fired him. Billy Napier, I think you've got enough of a sample size. Hugh Freeze, you got enough of a sample size. I mean, when you can't beat anybody, that's a problem.
I don't understand why not. Why don't you just wait until the end of the year? When did we start firing? We're firing before Halloween
because it's back to the fans. Like the fans want blood. They wanted Billy Napier's blood. They want Scott Strickland.
What I always tell you about the Zealots, Brownie.
What did you say about the Zealots?
I said it's fine to sit on the rocks and watch the Zealots swim, but you don't jump off the rocks and swim with them. They'll drown you.
But so you know what? As a fan base, you wanted your blood, right? You wanted Billy Napier's blood. So you know now what you've done. You've taken the candidates you want, and you've put him in a really difficult spot.
That's right.
To the point, and I get what you're saying, Lance, but would it also surprise you if Lane Kiffin looks at this and says, I don't want to deal with this for 2 months. My family likes it here. If I can take Ole Miss to the playoffs and make a ton of money, I'll stay here because I don't want to deal with this for 2 months. I mean, that's not a crazy decision to make.
No.
Well, tomorrow.
But you know what created that was the fact that you had to have your taste for blood and get Billy Napier fired.
That you fired the coach then.
That's right.
I am surprised that most Auburn fans still believe Lane Kiffin's a possibility to Auburn, and I don't hear more John Summerall, the guy we will have on tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this hypothetical.
There are Auburn fans that think that Lane Kiffin would leave Ole Miss for Auburn right now and not take the Florida.
Yeah, I've talked to a few
that he would take Auburn over. Well,
they're just like, hey, offer him whatever, and I'm like, well Florida can offer whatever, and so can Ole Miss.
Yeah, that would be a decision right there.
But let me ask you guys this: if Stoops is out, and this is crazy, but if Kentucky offered Summerall and Auburn offered Summerall,
he'd take Auburn. Now, this is being discussed in the chat room, oddly enough.
You really think so?
100%. Why would you go coach football at Kentucky?
No, because he played there. I'm just saying there is something to that.
I think if he played there, he knows even more. Why would you go? I would stay at Tulane and play the odds.
The most dysfunctional program in the SEC is?
It is Auburn, but when they get it right, the highs are much higher than anything.
But when have they ever gotten it right?
Oh, well, they did. They played for a national championship under Gus Malzahn.
I'm talking about for a full tenure. Like, they've never gotten it right.
No, I mean, the years they get it right are good years. And Kentucky never comes close to getting it right. If I'm freaking John Summerall, I have watched coach after coach after coach after coach after coach after coach go try to win at Kentucky.
They won more SEC championships than anybody in the decade of the 80s.
We're going on 40-plus years.
I'm just saying, you said win.
No, that's what I'm saying. I brought up Pat Dye last week or the week before. Since Pat Dye, they have not got coach right.
I would disagree with you on Tuberville. I think Tuberville did a good enough job. But other than that, long-term, you're right. Chizik couldn't sustain it. Malzahn couldn't sustain it. Harsin never got there. Freeze has never gotten there. Terry Bowden couldn't sustain it. I've skipped him for some reason since Dye. I mean, I would take – I don't know that Summerall's going to have to make that choice, but I would certainly take Auburn. But back to what we were just talking about, because I had an Auburn fan the other day, and he just wanted Hugh Freeze's blood. And I asked him the question. I'm like, look, I don't think Hugh's going to survive this either. But what does it benefit you to fire him now versus the end of the season? Give me the benefit to it.
There's nothing. Unless
do you see a benefit to it?
Yeah. Because you can I'm not naive to not think I can not go ahead and negotiate with the guy I want.
And that's the normal answer. Well, you get in the coaching pool before Florida or somebody else. I'm like, you're already in that pool. If your people know they're moving on from Hugh Freeze, you don't think they're testing the waters to see who they can get?
Yep.
You're in that pool. All right, so your players get fired up because you fired the coach and you go win at Arkansas, or you find a way to beat Vanderbilt, or you find a way to beat Kentucky. What has that done for you? Nothing. Like, you can choose to move on and not move on.
Just playing devil's advocate here.
Is this on Auburn?
On Auburn. I mean, if you know he's not the guy, you don't want him to pick up a couple of wins down the stretch and save himself.
Oh, well, that's up to you. Why do I let you save yourself just because you got a couple meaningless wins? I can go ahead and still fire you.
You're talking about Billy Napier. It's exactly what Napier did last year, Scott. Yeah. And Scott Strickland and the Florida Boosters were the dummies that bought into it.
They made the choice to say, okay, it looks like he's turned the corner and we're getting DJ back.
Yeah.
But if you're committed to what you believe in, if you really believe he's not the guy, then these wins after you've decided he's not the guy should not change that.
Now, Scott,
I agree, it should not.
Yeah.
Well, then that's bad leadership.
To your point,
at that point, we should be changing athletic directors and boosters.
I don't disagree with you.
To Scott's point, let me play his point out. If number 2 Alabama comes rolling into the Iron Bowl, and you shock the world and beat Alabama, it's going to feel weird that you fire your coach the Monday after that game. It is going to feel strange. I completely get that.
Yeah, but
at some point you got to say we've got a big enough body of work that one Iron Bowl win is not changing it.
Well, historically speaking, would Auburn have been better off in 2000? What year was that? 2003 or 2?
When Tuberville saved his job in the Iron Bowl?
Yeah, when they'd already flown the jet.
Depends on how you feel about Bob Petrino.
I think he would have won a lot of football games.
Well, he would have won a lot of football
But the next year, Auburn was undefeated and out of their control, didn't play for the national championship.
I'm just talking about like the whole tenure.
Yeah, moving forward.
What he would have done. I mean, because obviously Arkansas was in a much worse spot when Petrino took that over.
Yeah, and a lot straighter roads to ride your motorcycles on down in Lee County.
It's around Lake Martin. It gets windy.
Way past the top of the hour. Show brought to you by our friends at Hemphill Services. They bring you Lance's Lock. You got a whole slate of NBA tonight. You've got a couple of more college football games tonight. You can play them at lanceslock.com.
We split last night. We had the Lakers plus 2.5, and as good as Luka played, the Golden State Warriors and Jimmy Butler just way too much, hitting the 17 threes. But we did have Kennesaw State, so we did split last night, 1-1. We have got a college football game up available tonight. We've got 2 in the NBA. Jump on board. Free play every single day. It is brought to you by our friends at Hemphill Services. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Whether you experience any plumbing, heating, or cooling issues, speaking of the heat, 50 degrees this morning when I left the house, call the guys, Adam, Chad, Andrew. Make sure everything's running right. 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Hey, is your power bill higher than you expected this month? Well, listen, we got changes in weather, so that means changes in energy use sometimes. So that could be the reason, and you can find that out by checking out Alabama Power's free My Power Usage tool. It helps you track how much energy you are using and when. It's a great way to spot patterns and avoid surprises. Plus, Alabama Power offers easy tips to help you save. So do it. Visit alabamapower.com/mypowerusage to learn more.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Honey, a while back, life knocked me flat on my behind. I was hit by an 18-wheeler, and Lord of mercy, it left me hurting. Now, I heard through the grapevine that Alexander Shannara had recovered big money for some people. You been hurt? Can't work? Don't sit there suffering. Call my people at Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. Ain't gonna cost you a dime, so pick up the phone and dial 659-777-7777 or go to Shannara.com, because when I called, Alexander Shannara answered.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
All right. It's a beautiful day for football here at the stadium, and we're just about ready for kickoff. Score 0-0. And suddenly, I'm in the mood for a Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar. Now that's a winning combo. Yeah, crisp, refreshing. That hits the spot. When it comes to great taste, Coke Zero Sugar's always on the scoreboard. Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC. Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Get all your favorite Next Round gear all in one place, nextround.store. From our Next Round hats to the logo tees to the all-time best-selling Y'all Can Have the Rest shirt, you can look your best by shopping with us at nextround.store. Take the Next Round anywhere with nextround.store.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, final hour of the show now, brought to you by Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. Sterling, and the fine folks at Champy's in Alabaster bring you the final hour of the show every day. Fantastic fried chicken that is brined overnight, cooked to order with all the great homemade sides and desserts. Champy's right there on Highway 119 in Alabaster. A great dine-in experience for food and drink, but also easy-to-go orders at champyschicken.com. Don't forget the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster for all your tailgate needs this season. Let's get back to a little Alabama conversation as they get ready to go to South Carolina. Then we'll talk a little bit about Auburn. We'll get to our four downs. And R.J. Young has a look at what a 24-team college football playoff bracket would look like if it started right now. And I've never been a fan of that format that's suggested by the Big Ten commissioner, but you see it on paper, and you will hear in a second. You sort of say, okay, I'd sign up for that. I'd watch it. I'd take a slice of that, maybe two. But first, Alabama getting ready to go play South Carolina. If you can, Tyler, give me cut number 7. You would agree with me, I believe, that Ty Simpson's decision-making is becoming the biggest asset Alabama has. Here's his OC, Ryan Grubb, talking about the O-line and what the quarterback is doing in making decisions right now.
Sticking with the O-line, what did you see from them and Ty in his decision-making and there not being a sack this week?
Yeah, I thought there was probably 6 or 7 plays in a row where the pocket was just so clean, and I thought the guys did a great job settling in as the game went when we needed to have some clutch throws. Early on I actually thought there was some traffic in the backfield. I thought we did a good job of getting those things cleaned up on the sideline. And, for Ty, there was 2 throws for sure that were clean throwaways that I thought he didn't do the week before. And I knew that was something going into the week that Ty was going to be really focused on. We had talked about a lot, and it saved us some negative yardage hits for sure.
Has that become Alabama's biggest asset? Ty Simpson's decision making.
Yeah, I mean, again, the first I think was obvious. Everybody in the stadium knew what the crap are you doing. Play from Ty Simpson all year happened Saturday night, and that's a testament to him. Like, I have not watched him and thought, what the crap are you doing? One time this year until that one play Saturday night, and that was the only play. I mean, it's not like he's making a bunch of them.
I mean, look, if you go back, you take away the Florida State game, which, again, I didn't think he played bad, but he's completing 75% of his passes, since that moment, which is pretty incredible, and only 1 touchdown. So he's not making mistakes. We also talked about, statistically, they are spreading it out, but like, nobody's putting up big numbers. You don't necessarily trust the run game. It's better with Jam back, but it's not explosive. And, Ryan Williams hasn't put up the numbers a lot of people believed he would. So
coming off a 100-yard game, though, so that's good. Yeah.
There was one throw that he made, and it was Bama was backed up in their end zone, and they were going from the left to the right on the TV screen. So
the one Dane Brugler points out on Twitter is an NFL throw.
Well, so you see it in real time. I did, but I saw it from lower end zone. Have you seen it from lower end zone?
That's the one. It's a clip of the coach's cut up. Dane Brugler.
And it's thrown to Ryan Williams, Lance, and the lower end zone. You can't see Ryan Williams from where Simpson is standing. The defender is between Simpson and Williams, and you can't see him. And when I tell you it almost peels the paint off the Tennessee helmet, it is an incredible throw. Like, you watch it on TV and that's a good throw. You see it from Ty Simpson's point of view, and you're like, I don't even know why he threw that ball.
Yeah.
And it hits Williams right in the hands.
That's what's so amazing is, like, his confidence to be a guy that, at this point in his career has only started, 8 games?
Most improved part of Alabama's team, though, is their pass rush. Starting to cook, man.
Well, especially, if you ever get Russaw back to where he was playing, the way Yanzi Pierre has developed in Russaw's absence.
And then, LT Overton just, against Missouri 2 games ago, was living in the backfield.
Yeah. Now you got Pierre coming off. You're getting the push from Smith and Keenan on that defensive line. They're starting to get it done, and they're getting it done without having to bring blitzes, but they can do that too.
And don't discount Pierre's contribution to the Xavier Brown interception, pick 6. The fact that Pierre was basically between Aguilar and the receiver forced Aguilar to make an imperfect throw, which allowed Xavier Brown to break on it and make an incredible play. Yanzi Pierre, that was, to have 3 sacks and all that he did in that game, that was just an incredible effort on his part.
A little conversation about Auburn's trip to Arkansas after we remind you the show being brought to you by our friends at CPAP Plus. Sleep Home Alabama sleeper picker tonight. I'm going to go a little Mo State on the road at New Mexico State with an upset. Mo State with an upset over New Mexico State.
You going to watch that game?
I am, actually. Yeah, 8 o'clock, CBS Sports Network.
Right.
There is your sleeper pick from our friends at CPAP Plus. 5 great locations throughout the state: Birmingham, Trussville, Pelham, Foley, Troy, the O'Neill brothers, Woody, and Joe. It's Alabama's best home sleep testing at CPAP. If you're waking up groggy, if you need a nap, you're not getting the proper 8 hours, it's terrible for your health. Our friends at CPAP Plus and Sleep Home Alabama, they can help out. The $199 home sleep test. Nobody wants to deal with insurance. You don't want to deal with the lab. You want to sleep in your own bed. You can do it with Alabama's best home sleep test and CPAP. Just easy-to-wear fingertip devices, clinically validated, that connect to your smartphone, complete with a physician's interpretation of your results. For more information for that $199 home sleep test, go to sleephomealabama.com.
When it comes time to remodel the master bath in your house, maybe your kitchen, your master bedroom closet, it's what Brad Bell specializes in. And when it came time to do the master bath in the Brown house, my wife scoured the internet and discovered that very fact, that Brad Bell is the guy to go with. Now, the reason I point out master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets, it's not because it's all Brad does, far from that. But Brad knows you spend a lot of time in those rooms. You want them to be big, functional, look great. And when it comes time to sell your house, if that's in your future, if that's on the horizon, those rooms really pop, and you're going to get some of your money back when you go to sell it. So that's why he says, look, tell everybody that's what I specialize in, but certainly not all I do. Any remodel in your home, but especially if it's master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets, AlabamaBathRemodels.com. That's the website, AlabamaBathRemodels.com. Or just give Brad a call and let him come out and look at your job in person like he did for us. 205-422-1758, 205-422-1758. Brad Bell, AlabamaBathRemodels.com.
Okay, so Auburn is on the road at Arkansas, and they're without Connor Lew, the All-American candidate at center. There was video that came from our friend Rosie in WSFA, her and Davis down at WSFA. They were at practice, and Connor Lew is here out there despite the injury, still working with the O-lineman. He's helped him in the tape room. He's out there still trying to encourage and helping with the O-line and all sorts of different things, working there with the sound, the silent count as they get ready for the road game at Arkansas.
Well, that's great leadership right there.
It
man.
is, and that's why Kay and Lee gets asked about keeping the team together. They're looking for the leaders. Here's the Auburn DB.
Does that mean keeping the team together to you?
I feel like our connection, like we're not losing no trust within each other. Like it's just bringing us closer. Everything that we're going through is bringing us closer. So I feel like it's. You ever seen a movie like if there's no conflict in the movie, you wouldn't like it. So we loving it right now. We just embracing everything.
So we're at a movie right now. I would assume this is one of those mystery box movies that Tyler goes to see. We don't know how it's going to end. We don't know what the plot is.
It's always got conflict.
I mean, their plot is Armageddon. And I don't know who they're going to get. Like, I don't know if they've got a Harry that they can go get on the oil rig to figure this thing out.
On the road to say Arkansas's defense is vulnerable. I can't say that word, but vulnerable is an understatement. This reminds me a lot of the Baylor game to start the year. I hope Hugh Freeze's play calling is as aggressive in this game as it was in the Baylor game.
Or if Arkansas's defensive plan is as dumb as Dave Aranda's was, which was a pretty dumb defensive plan by Dave Aranda. I actually think, Lance, this game's going to be a shootout. I think there will be points scored on both sides. Like, I know Auburn fans haven't seen a lot of this, but I think this game could play into the 30s.
Oh, look,
like the winner in the 30s.
Every one of Arkansas's games, sans Alabama A&M, because they only scored 7 in the opener, has gone 60-plus points.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think this thing's going to play in the 30s. When you look at Arkansas, the defense is awful. They've lost 6 consecutive conference games, but Bobby Petrino is still trying to show people he can be the guy, and they're going to spring one of these upsets. They were close against Tennessee. I know it was kind of a backdoor cover situation there too, but they lose that game on the road by 3. They ultimately lose by 3 to A&M last week, and now they've got an opportunity against an Auburn team that is going in the wrong direction. And let's not forget about Taylon Green. As bad as the defense is, Taylon Green leads the nation in total offense. He's got 22 touchdowns. He's electric. He can make plays everywhere. So this is I don't want to say a dangerous game. I mean, that's obvious, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a dangerous game for who? Arkansas or Auburn?
I mean, for Arkansas, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's a toss-up game. I mean, Arkansas is what, a 1.5 point home favorite in this one, so it's
right
a pick 'em.
Yeah.
I just think, Jim, that this is going to be a rare shootout game that Auburn is in. They don't get in many of those because their defense is good and their offense isn't. But I think this Arkansas offense opens the door for Jackson Arnold, who has struggled this year, to probably have the best game of his season. That's what I expect out of Jackson Arnold this week, is the best game. It's going to be fool's gold, but it's the best game of his football season this year. You're going to look at it and say, okay, that's the Jackson Arnold I thought we were paying $2 million for if you're an Auburn fan.
Better than Baylor?
Yeah, I just mean...
I think it'll be just like Baylor.
No. I just mean throwing the ball. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Baylor, it was primarily his running. I cannot believe, I mean, again, that was a poor attack by Dave Aranda. Do not understand why Dave Aranda, in the first game of the year, didn't stack that line of scrimmage and say, I'm going to have to see this guy throw before I let anybody run the football.
4 Downs today, brought to you by our friends at Woodhouse Day Spa LT. Before you give us 4 Downs, tell us how we can relax.
Yes, the gift of relaxation from our friends at the Woodhouse Day Spa. A couple of ways you can do this. You can stop in their beautiful location at the Summit Shopping Centers. You can pick up gift cards, other essentials right there. Go see Stuart and the great staff. Tell him the next round sent you, or you can order 24/7 online. Very simple, birmingham.woodhousespas.com. Let that significant other choose from a menu of over 70 options: the waxing, nail service, body treatments, massages. Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's best day spa since 2009. Again, conveniently located at the Summit Shopping Centers or birmingham.woodhousespas.com.
First down.
Bigger threat to make the postseason this year, the Dallas Cowboys or the New England Patriots?
Well, I think it's Patriots. I think the Patriots are a surprisingly good team. They've already got a win in hand over Buffalo on the road in that division. So now, you get a chance to sweep that. And who knows, if Buffalo doesn't fix this, it's not going to stun me if New England ends up winning this division, Lance.
Yeah, we talked to a Patriot fan, Balling and Boutwell, this past week,
Johnny
and he's
Cogden,
like,
ABC 3340.
This is an example of playing a really bad schedule, and it's true. I don't know how they lost to the Raiders, but they've beaten your Dolphins. They've beaten the Panthers, who were playing much better at this particular point. They've beaten the Saints, the Titans,
and they
have beaten the Bills.
They've beaten the Bills. So you got a game in hand in that division against Buffalo, and if Buffalo can't square away some of their issues, it could come down to it.
And they've got coming up the Browns, Falcons at home. They got to play at the Bucs, but they got the Jets at home and at the Bengals, and then the Giants at home. Holy hell!
I know.
They've got an opportunity to win some games.
New England's got a path, and May's playing good football for them.
Yeah, all the things you said there. Yeah, I agree.
Second down.
Celebrity birthday. Doja Cat, 30 years old. Better career, Doja Cat or Cat Williams?
Cat Williams, the comedian for me.
Doja Cat has done what?
Oh, she's done.
One good album.
She's probably had 3 or 4 top 10 hits already.
She showed up to the Met Gala dressed as a cat.
I remember that, and it was a trash open, right? She talked only in cat.
It's Cat Williams in a landslide.
Cat Williams by a landslide too. I love me some Cat Williams. That guy is hysterical. Yeah, so give me Cat.
Me too. I like Cat Williams a lot too. Funny guy, and Doja Cat for a moment was very popular, but what have you done for me lately?
Third down.
So, Judge Judy, 83 years old. Ultimately, better career, Judge Judy or Jerry Judy?
Judge Judy. Changed syndicated television forever.
She did, and it was more Judge Wapner before her with the People's Court, right?
But
she kind of slid in on a silver platter there.
Yeah, no, it was the way she did it, and then came up with the syndication ruling, and it hit at a time where it sprung 62 other judge shows after her because of her success. I don't think Judge Wapner got to her level, and then the way she was able to capitalize on the syndication, I think she actually even owned a couple of other judge shows.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Killed it.
I don't know that Wapner was ever the producer. He may have been, but I don't know.
Brett Favre, for me, one of the best things on television for a little over a decade. Sunday afternoons with a Brett Favre comeback was fantastic.
Kardashian has
I would have to go Kardashian
money,
here.
Printed money for basically
just because I think Favre has fallen, I don't know, top 20 quarterback of all time.
And she's top, I don't even know where do we rank
Reality star or self-made, ridiculous billionaire. She might be number 1 on that list.
She has printed money.
Not only is she a billionaire now, but her younger sister also a billionaire now.
And that all started because of her.
Right.
Yeah.
That is 4 Downs today, brought to you in part by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision. Tell us about Michelson.
205-969-8100. That is the number you need to call. For more information, you can always go online, michelsonlaservision.com. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson. Very important. Ask for Amy when you call. Tell her the next round sent you. They are going to hook you up with an absolutely free consultation. Nothing to lose. 205-969-8100.
Forrester, I don't know if you've had a chance to pull that 2014 bracket yet from R.J. Young. If not, I can sit here and walk us through it. But it's just,
of course he has.
It's so much to go from 12 to 24. But then you look at it and you're like, okay, it would be entertaining. I just don't know what it does to the regular season. Now, I know we said that about the 12, and you're saying, why 24, Jim? Well, that's what the Big Ten has proposed. Now, I believe it's just a scare tactic to try to get the SEC to bend the knee to some other things. But one thing to note, both rounds would be on campus, the opening round and then the next round before you move to the bowl sites. I would assume that we'd get rid of conference championship weekend and start this now on the conference championship weekend. And for those that are on the audio platforms, I'll quickly run through first round on-campus games. And this is all by if it started today. USF at Notre Dame. Navy at Tennessee. Cincinnati at Oklahoma. Arizona State at Missouri. Texas Tech at Miami. Texas at BYU. Illinois at Louisville. Virginia at Georgia Tech. Winner of the USF Notre Dame game gets 1 seed Ohio State. Navy Tennessee winner gets Vandy. Cincy Oklahoma winner gets Bama. Arizona State Missouri winner gets Oregon. Texas Tech Miami winner gets Indiana. Texas BYU winner gets Ole Miss. Illinois Louisville winner gets Texas A&M. Virginia Georgia Tech winner gets Georgia. All those on campus. What would you not like about that?
I mean, I think there's only 2 games that are potential blowouts, and that's Notre Dame, South Florida, and then Navy, Tennessee. And
you think South Florida beat Notre Dame that bad?
Well, I mean, what do they have in common? They're both the Group 5 reps. I mean, outside of that, every game is super competitive, and you can't avoid some of the conference matchups, which you see at the bottom there with Virginia and Georgia Tech. I mean, I'm all about it. Get rid of these conference championship games. They absolutely mean nothing.
But the question, Brownie, would be what happens to the regular season at that point? You see, I mean, Texas is on there.
Well, Tennessee's got 2 losses and they're a 9 seed, so it does feel like you've minimized some losses there. Texas has played awful. I mean, they're a 23 seed. Or I guess that's ranking, right? That's not seeding. Yeah, because that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
No, am I right about that?
That is a combination of both, but I think you're right. That is a seed.
Okay. Because it's weird to see a 23 play a 10, but I understand we've got all these buys here. So, yeah, that is the way that is working. I mean, so, yeah, you've diminished some of the regular season if you do this. There's no doubt. But, again, we've diminished the regular season already. I mean, Alabama's loss at Florida State. We've talked a lot about it. Alabama might be the best team in the nation right now, or maybe the second best team in the nation. That loss to Florida State in years past, Lance, would have cost them a playoff chance in a 2-team scenario. You can't argue that, right?
Well, unless they won out.
But even then, like there are times in a 2-team where they would not have gotten back in.
Undefeated, yeah.
Yeah, if Ohio State had gone undefeated and, say Miami had gone undefeated, that could have been it for Alabama. They could have been done. So, yeah, it's diminished the meaning, but TV ratings are higher than they've ever been on college football. So you can't tell me that the general public has looked at the playoffs and said, boy, I'll tell you what, the regular season doesn't matter. People are watching the regular season in record numbers. Jim, you were in Tuscaloosa Saturday night.
Yep.
Based on all and you've probably been to, other than Iron Bowl, you've probably been to more Alabama-Tennessee games than any opponent they've ever played. Wouldn't you guess?
Yeah, that and LSU.
Okay. Oh, yeah, include LSU. Did that game, the atmosphere around that game, the level of play around that game, feel lesser to you than any of these other Alabama-Tennessee games you've ever been to?
No.
Then what have we diminished? You tell me. What have we diminished?
In 2022, in Knoxville was probably the most intense Alabama-Tennessee game I've ever been to.
Yeah.
And that was for a 4-team playoff.
Right.
And then in 2024, when I was up there, still very intense, and that was a 12-team playoff.
Yeah. I mean, I'm asking, what have we diminished? If you go to Alabama-Tennessee and you're like, I tell you what, that felt like the 20 other Alabama-Tennessee games, if not better, that I've ever been to in my life.
Are you guys okay without the conference championship?
I am.
Now, Alabama.
I used to not be, but after going to last year's, yeah, I am.
Alabama-LSU has changed.
Is that because LSU's gotten worse?
Yeah, or maybe it's just because that was the peak of in-season excitement. It felt like these are 2 of the best rosters and the loser's going to get left out. Now, that one has been diminished, and part of that may be that it's not the 2 best rosters anymore, where you felt like maybe these were the 2 best teams in the country. A lot of times in the late aughts and the early teens, I'd go to the Alabama-LSU game, and it would be –
It'd feel like a national championship game.
This really feels like maybe the 2 best rosters in college football.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see it as a diminished product. Can you absorb more losses? Of course you can. But to me, the product's still fantastic.
Oh, yeah. And look, I think that bracket, I mean, that's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I was told that NIL and transfer portal were going to diminish the product too. I mean,
no,
I didn't see Alabama players or Tennessee players taking plays off because they had a bunch of NIL.
Well, and that's the
Saturday
thing,
night.
and also that is the dilution overall. Like, I don't know about you guys, but because we've got all this parity, like watching 60 Minutes of football is still great football.
Yeah. And I will say this, too. There was a time, I'll use McAfee's phrasing, Pat McAfee, old white TV executives once told me that it was going to be bad if I had college football on all day long. Now I've got it all day long on every channel, multiple channels, not just on one channel, and I can't get enough of it.
Right.
And the ratings are through the roof. So those people don't always know what they're talking about. Trash on the other side, and a couple of more NFL notes, and a point to be made about don't defame legends because it'll cost you money. All that coming up before we get to trash, brought to you by Urology Centers of Alabama. Our friends at UCA, guys, wanting to help keep you alive and help your health all at the same time. Early detection on things like prostate health literally saves your life. That's what Urology Centers of Alabama can take care of. 205-930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com. For over 70 years, the best urological care in Alabama, and they've spread out to 16 wonderful locations, and they're there to help you. You can find out a location near you and what they offer you, urologycentersalabama.com, urologycentersalabama.com, or 205-930-0920.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at ScottForresterTV.
Honey, a while back, life knocked me flat on my behind. I was hit by an 18-wheeler, and Lord of mercy, it left me hurting. Now, I heard through the grapevine that Alexander Shannara had recovered big money for some people. You been hurt, can't work, don't sit there suffering. Call my people at Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. Ain't gonna cost you a dime, so pick up the phone and dial 659-777-7777 or go to Shannara.com, because when I called, Alexander Shannara answered.
Call me, Alabama. No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next